Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to the Space Lounge, ladies and gentlemen. DYOR Live, coming to you from the Space Lounge. Haven't been here in a while, haven't seen it in a long time. Thought we'd bring it out for these evening sessions. Good evening, everyone. My name's Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting an evening session of DYOR Live here, trying to kick the bull run off here by covering it with a little extra in-depth coverage. As you can see, I've got my Tony Stark glasses on here, and we're ready to rumble here in the Space Lounge, ladies and gentlemen. So glad that everyone is joining us. It's like November 18th. I don't know what time it is, 9:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Something 10 hours ahead in Singapore, or 11 hours ahead in Singapore, something like that. Hope there's people watching us from all over the world on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, Kick, and wherever else you find these great channels. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's see if we can bring into the house our co-host, Pedro Garcia. Where is Pedro? Pedro is in the house. There's Pedro Garcia.
Hey, what's up, my people? This is a bit psychedelic, all crazy, having fun, flying through the universe. Who knows, man? We might be like one of those, one of the old versions of Mr. Who, talking about crypto, enjoying flying through.
You mean Doctor Who?
In the future, huh?
Oh, I could get the TARDIS flying around here if you want.
Oh yeah, dude, that would actually be kind of cool.
All right, let's see before we get going here, let's see who we got in the house. We'll switch it back to the normal format here for watching purposes in a little bit. Just having a little fun with this. Crypto Mike says, sup, my people. Ryan Smith in the house. Thanks for joining us, Ryan Smith. Been a long time since Ryan's here in a while. Let's see here. Crypto Mike in the house. Let's give Crypto Mike the oh Canada twice in one day. Let's see. Dr. Fire Chicken in the house. Thank you very much for watching us, Dr. Fire Chicken. Let's get the viewers up. Share the love. That's right, everybody. Share the love. There's Jeff right there. If there was ever a perfect song made for someone, Technical Difficulties is it. Thank you very much for writing that song. I gotta play it. I keep forgetting to do it just because I'm trying not to have any technical difficulties. Pedro even says, what's up, my peoples here. We're coming to you from the Space Lounge. Let's see, Rumble, well, you're not going to hear it. I was telling everybody, if you're on Rumble, hit the refresh button if this show's unstarted, but you're not hearing me say that anyway. Carmen Crypto says, let's go, Space Cadets. Space Cadets in the house. Let us know how now our sound is. I'm trying a different microphone again to keep solving my crappy-ass audio. Matt C. in the house. Matt, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Matt, the dev of a million different programs at one point or another, but thanks for joining, Matt. All the way from Kentucky, I think. Kentucky, I think if that's right. If that southern drawl doesn't come from Kentucky, then I don't know. If anyone's heard Matt talk, he's been on our show a number of times. No, he's also one of the lead guys over at Infineon right now. Mike sounds good. Yep, I was right. Kentucky. I'm gonna have to drive through Kentucky again to get me some cheap bourbon, which I might have a little later on this show.
I like me some cheaper bourbon. Oh yes, you're gonna have to get a ton. So when you're flying back up, take 95 up, come through Connecticut, drop about 2 cases of that here, and then.
Well, I shouldn't complain though. A 1.75 of Jim Beam was recently on sale here for $17.99 in Chicago. So.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, they always do like a loss leader type thing at the big store. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we got a good show for you tonight. This show's a little different than our normal show. We will go over some charts and all that. But Pedro and I like to talk about more stuff in the news, what's going on here.
What's going on?
What's going on? What's going? Oops, look, there's 2 of me now. You get double of me. Where'd Pedro go? There's Pedro. Clicked the wrong button. Anyway, and so we're going to go over a lot of news, a lot of talk like that. Feel free to spam us with comments about things you want to talk about or cover or something like that. God, I still got my sunglasses on. I'm going to take those off for the Space Lounge.
Bro, take it off, bro. Take it off.
Woo! But thanks. Carmen Crypto is in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, Carmen Crypto, I believe, is going to be one of our Space Lounge co-hosts tomorrow night. Unless it's date night, then it's Thursday night. Oh wait, then it's Wednesday night. Today's Monday. All right, so either tomorrow night or Wednesday night. I think Carmen will be one of the co-hosts. I confused today instead of Meme Coin Monday, Pedro, with Technical Tuesday. Ooh, what's going on with your camera tonight?
I don't know. I know why. Give me 1 second. I remember. Have the.
It's just all washed out there. Anyway, let's get some more of those comments there. Let me see if your Rumble comment machine is working there. And can you guys hear any background music? Look, I keep forgetting to pull that 0 off. All right, everyone. But so we do a little different format here tonight. We do a format more of talking about the topics that are going around. Obviously, politics are going to come into it still. We talk a lot about that. We hope to entertain you for part of this evening with a little bit of crypto / political / what the F was that guy thinking type stuff. That's always, Pedro, you're on mute, just so you know.
We have many of that. That is for sure. Many of that. What were they thinking? I had this foster father I used to say, and honestly, it has served me well for many a years as an adult. And he used to always say to me, "Shh, less with your mouth, more with your eyes." The guy was very minced in his words, but he gave me some really dope, good information. One was, if you're careful with your pennies, your dollars will take care of themselves, which has served me many a years. And the times that I never took that advice, it hurt me. So it has served me many a years. The other one was, anything we're doing will never be easy. Like these one-liners, but they just stuck in my head.
That sounds like Coast Guard talk.
Yeah. But that really, well, he was in the military, and so shout out to Cleo out there. What's up, bro? Hope you're doing well. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to get all weird.
No, that's all right. That happens at least once every show, Pedro. So we all know that. We get it. But anyway, Pedro, it's only been a few hours since we spoke about Bitcoin. We might as well talk about it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's check out Bitcoin as we move forward here. All right, so Bitcoin is looking pretty dapper here. We're going up for the evening here. We hit a nice little supply wick here today where we came into. And what's nice, though, is that we ended up closing red, which is a good sign of a bullish sentiment as we're moving in. The only problem is that I wish we would have went down first, then up. So we're still kind of playing with this. We typically might end tomorrow on a red candle because we are moving up. But it would be nice actually to break through that high. I would love to hit 95 and then sell off tomorrow, which would really be dope. It's one of those things I think would be cool. If we could get above the high here tonight, bing, and then see them sell it off or even potentially push up. But as you all know, I always say if you're going down in the evening or if you're going
Jeff
up
Nunn,
in the
thanks for
evening,
joining us.
always
Really
expect
appreciate it.
The reverse coming into the morning, right? It's one of those things. So as the Asian market and as well as the Australian market push it up, let's see what and this will be good. If the Asian market and Australian market push it up, the London market pushes it down, expect it to go up. Because I always say, in a bull market, it's a three-way tie, or it's a three-way position. If we go up, then we're going to go down, then most likely end up going up. So hopefully, cross fingers, that's what we see for tomorrow. Bitcoin at end 94,000, 95,000. So fingers crossed, as we say. Whoop, whoop.
I'd like to see that. I've got a little long position on Bitcoin right now.
Ooh,
Risking a whole $20. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Dang, brother. Well, a nice little area you got above. When did you get in, my friend?
I'm break even right now. It's about 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. All right, boom.
Actually, I'm up $1.50.
All right, 7 o'clock your time, 8 o'clock my time.
Oh, sorry, my time. 8 o'clock your time.
No, it is all.
Oh, nope. It's on. This thing's on your time. My chart's on your time.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so it's gonna be right here. So why is my brain blanking here? So 8 o'clock. So be 2000. So yeah, but right here then.
Yeah, right
Boom.
in there. Just as it came back down.
Boom. Okay, nice, man. Nice.
Not at the bottom of that. It just there was like the green peak and then the red come back down. I thought it was still going up, so I bought a little, and of course it went down, but now it's coming back.
Yes, it's looking strong. It potentially, I mean, we could see this thing get up to the highs of that 91.12 area, and even 92.12 area, which would be a nice little 800-point move for you, which would be nice. And even potential the highs of today would be that 92.53 area. Like I said, it all depends on what's going to happen here with the Australian market coming into the London market as we move forward. So it's going to be kind of fun. A little consolidation period here we have, and I'll point this out here real quick. Boom.
Yeah.
What's up, my friend?
Sorry, I just blasted something in my ear.
Oh, that's always hard, man. Like, I hate that blast in my ear.
Well, thanks to everyone that's watching us in this evening. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll approach at some point the viewership from today, which was magnificent. I mean, we had between all our platforms, we had 300 viewers. We had 200
and live.
Yeah, live.
Keyword.
Yeah, live, which is very difficult to do
huge.
live.
Yes. That is with viewership of people in the hundreds of thousands. Typically, they get around viewership live around 300 to 400 people, just so you know. So we at merely, we're like Mighty Mouse, bro, like legit. What are we, 15,000? Dude, and listen, it all depends what you guys are doing, straight up. By the way, we've got 9 people over there at Rumble. Thank you so much, guys. Again, we love Rumble. Rumble is the jam. No doubt. No, I was going to say no Diddy, but then I was like, ooh, let's leave that one alone. All right. So,
no diddying on the Diddy.
Yeah, no diggity, no doubt. Shout out to those 8 viewers there. Thank you so much. We appreciate every one of you guys. Thank you so much. Mr. Fire Chicken, all the other guys over there. Please hit a like, subscribe button. That really helps us out quite a bit over there. Also, if you could do us a quick favor and also share the little comments here on your social media platforms. That helps us out so much, immensely. Again, we're going to be talking about some things. They're going to be a little touchy. Definitely a little touchy. There are going to be some things that are going to be said that aren't necessarily the best thing to say, but they need to be said.
For YouTube, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Rumble and X, nobody cares.
Yeah. But for YouTube, it always kind of hurts us. So please hit that share button. That always helps us out quite a bit. Also, when we look at the markets here, I might be saying some things you guys might not like a little, but listen, I'm here just to be... I'd rather be transparent with you guys and kind of go over really what I think the market's going to do than say that it's going to go to the moon and it not, right? And then leave you high and dry like most people do. So, like, again, we saw the market go up into our area here. We ended up green, which is a good sign. We went down first. So I think I might be wrong with the Solana trade, which is really good. I hope I am. We finish above this area here that we were talking about for Solana, and it's actually really good. I said that line in the sand, which was about right here. As you guys can see, we came down, we tapped it, we kind of keeping up above it. So I would expect us, hopefully to see this thing continue up. It's consolidating here, so it's trying to pick a direction which way it really wants to go.
What do you got up there, Solana?
Yeah, this is Solana. So this is what the Solana play here that we're all kind of playing off of right now. It's in between the base of the 244 to the 259 area. I do think we're going to come down to these lower parts here off of that play. And as you guys can see here, we just had a huge push up. So that 216 area is a very, very strong position that we can come back and test. If not even further to that 194 area because of the supply area here, and then see it rebound and just push up to the stratosphere, baby. So we'll see what happens there. Alrighty, guys. So that's in a nutshell. Tom, if you don't mind me doing a favor here real quick, what are your thoughts on, like, from a fundamental standpoint with Saylor putting in, I think it was another $4 billion today. Is that correct? Did I understand that right when I read that?
I think it was 51,000 Bitcoins, something like that.
I was
Some crazy ass number like that.
Dude, this man is no joke. He's like he's topping off. Like most people want to wait for a retracement, right? No, this man's like, oh, there's the top, bam, just to prove a point. Like it's like domino. Like, what's my name? Like, say it loud, say it proud. You know, like he's like,
no, it's show me the money. Show me the money.
He is no joke. He's like, show me the money. He had me at hello. Okay, at hello. So, like MicroStrategies, bro. People are now.
Oh, I hope you youngins understand that one. Welcome to the house, Derek B. Derek B. in the house. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Ka-ching.
What up? Ka-ching. What up, brother? The other side behind it, and I think this is really interesting with it, was watching him just. I mean, every time you see him, he's like, you know, leverage your house and buy Bitcoin, and it's the same narrative every single time. I mean, it's working for him. I mean, you've got institutions now that are saying they want MicroStrategy, man, just to get in. Go ahead.
MicroStrategy stock is appreciating faster than Bitcoin, so they're growing for no reason at all. You know, I mean, people
are, but there's for a real reason though.
No, but people are paying more for Bitcoin. They're buying it because of Bitcoin exposure. Obviously, MicroStrategy stock can't keep going up forever without it being a bubble. You know, what are they going to trade it for? 84 trillion billion times earnings or something? I mean, remember, there's no earnings in Bitcoin. You know, usually that many. Well, think about it this way. Usually, when a company puts $5 billion of assets on the balance sheet, they're getting earnings out of them. That money's going to work for them. You can't work Bitcoin unless you're lending it out. Now, the question is Saylor lending it back out to the market? If so, he's making a lot of money doing that probably, but if so, we've created a leverage problem again. Now think about that. If he's probably not lending a lot of it back out, and the market maybe hasn't sniffed it out, but if he's not sitting on all that, if he's putting that money to work, lending it back out, and then he has to make some margin calls because Bitcoin price goes down. You know, if he's lending it out at 87,000, 88,000, and it goes down into the low 70s or 60s, there may be some margin calls. And
that's an interesting thing, dude.
Right, and it could have. Caitlin Long has been on our show twice, Pedro. Both times she has said the exact same thing, is that when you introduce leverage into Bitcoin, you end up with disaster.
Yeah.
However, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate of the devil's advocate position I took. Michael Saylor's a smart guy, and he's been doing things well with his infinite money machine. So maybe he's lending it out because there's various talk about him on the great Twitter sphere of him lending it out. So if he is, he's probably doing it in a smart way. He's probably not overextending people. He's probably just putting them into over-the-counter desks to make trades with proper institutions and things like that. So
I don't know.
We'll see, but it's a good point to watch, everybody. And all of you listening, we got into the trouble with FTX. I know there was nefarious, there's fraud, all that type of stuff. But ultimately, we got into the trouble because of leverage. And too many people were over-levered in stuff that was worthless. This time around, it's not so worthless because it's Bitcoin. And there's a real company behind MicroStrategy that has value. But nobody ever can predict these credit crunches, why they happen. People have predicted them, like in 2008, what's his name predicted the mortgage crash, the show The Big Short. But he couldn't tell you why. He's just like, it's going to happen. It looks like I'm not liking all these things. But he couldn't tell exactly why. And of course, it took that one family on Shittsville Street and somewhere in Oklahoma down the street from Chuck to default on their mortgage and kicked it all off. So we got to think about that. Judas the Backstabber's in the house. Jesus was going to make Bitcoin bank, so I had to tell on him.
That name is so ruthless, dude.
I know.
I mean, just ruthless.
And the jokes keep coming, too. This is the best part.
Dude, they do.
They keep coming. Crypto Mike says it was 1.4 billion or something worth that sailor bought. Interesting. All right, what's the next topic? What's the next topic you got on the list?
No. So I think that I want to jump in real quick because he did go through making history here in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
What's up? Oklahoma, where the that's all I know. That's all. Literally. Oh yeah, I actually probably.
No. The line isn't the line. The only two things come from Oklahoma. Those are steers, and I'm not going to say the next word. And you don't look like you got horns on you, buddy. Was that from Full Metal Jacket or from?
I think it was, dude. Full leather jacket. Full leather jacket.
Do you shoot women and children too? Yes. How do you shoot women and children? You just don't lead them as much. Shooting them from the helicopter. Oh, it's terrible. That scene.
Horrible scene, dude. Like, dude, imagine if that was on today in a movie, bro. It would be banned. It would be, dude, 90% of all the movies that have gotten the majority of the Oscars throughout all of movie history would literally be banned. 90% of the actors, bro, would be canceled.
Oh, yeah.
Like this, dude, there's just the stuff that they did back.
John Wayne, forget it.
Dude,
he's out.
Absolutely. Dude, well, I don't know.
Oh, Crypto Mike was wrong. It was 4.6 billion, not 1.6. Apparently, Crypto Mike is getting to that point where he needs reading glasses. Or he's still got shrapnel in his eyes from getting blown up or something like that.
Shrapnel, baby. Shrapnel. Dodge. But I think one of the biggest things I always bring up here, and I think this is super important, with Bitcoin, okay? Now, what is interesting is that, say there is going, and he is trying to get investors, and he is looking for about $4.1 billion investors. And so it does kind of behoove me. This is what I always say, though. We're just starting the Bitcoin bull rally here. And what I think is interesting is this, and I think it's really important to pay attention to, is that he's asking, and if he does leverage right now, he's kind of at that point where we're right at the beginning, right? Because when you look at Cathie Woods talked about a 500,000 to $1.2 million Bitcoin over the next 5 years by 2030.
Cathie Wood is the CEO and chairman of ARK
Investments.
ARK Investments, and has famously been making a shit ton of money.
Yeah, she's the one who bought why am I forgetting what it's called?
Coinbase at like $1, sold it at $1 million at the high.
Literally at the high. And she actually waited for the dip. I think she bought back even on the dip, so which was even smarter. I was just like, how do you? I mean, but here's the thing: it's really not that. Well, excuse me, it is very hard, but it's not hard when you got a ton of money to be able to hold a base on a coin, right, or on a stock that is linked to crypto. Because the reality is this: is no matter what, even though people say it ain't paying them, it is paying them. Because the reality is when we consider the inflation aspect of crypto and how it holds value, right? Because the fact is that there's only a certain amount that, regardless of what's actually happening, he may even hit a margin call right now, something. But I bet you he's got enough friends out there who will sit there because they've invested into his corporate entity, right, that he uses almost as a piggy bank, that he could get money to be able to back him if there was a margin call. And in additionally to that, he could also get enough people to come in and kind of say, hey, look, I'll help you out with this. Let's go ahead and make a couple deals here and make them almost partners. So he has a lot of leeway to go back and forth and how to play this actual institutional play, even though he's not necessarily a large institution. But if we see a 500,000 Bitcoin, if not 1 million Bitcoin by 2030, which is literally I've showed you guys this numerous times, right? Like this is.
Chuck says Texas sucks so badly it blows here in Oklahoma. That's good, Chuck.
I don't want to see people. You're over there on I know we got. Listen, I want to retire one day in Texas, Wimberley one day there, and let's not piss a bunch of people off over there. There's a bunch of good people. By the way, are we live streaming over at? Because I don't see us live. Oh, there we are. Holy moly! Okay, I was wondering why. I was like, why is it just? Now it's actually playing. Okay, cool. Yes, tell me that we are live. Yes, we are live over on Rumble. Okay, cool. Nice. So I think what's interesting is as I'm looking at what is happening with Michael Saylor, if we hit half of what I think we're going to do, he is setting up for his, and I mean, the best way to put it is a piggy bank, right? Like his piggy bank that he calls MicroStrategy is one of those things that is very, it's smart. It's just absolutely smart. You know, like, look, this is where I expect, right, a 200,000 to 300,000 by this bull run. Okay, then
Oh my
600,000. But here's the thing.
Look, that chart makes me get all shivery and quivery. Look how small it makes what's going on now. Look.
Yes. But here's the thing. This is 600,000 to 1 million, and this is in 2028. So this is where in 2030, which is right here, she expects it to be at a 500,000, and which is a bearish prediction, and her bullish prediction is 1.5 to 2, and that's where I'm expecting to see it. And by 32. So these are real predictions, and I loved it that when she validated what I've been talking about forever, and I'm just like, dude, what's up? Like, that is rocking like a hurricane, baby. Like this is about to happen, right?
And I can only you like a hurricane.
Anyways, I just don't like it sound like a but I just think it's really interesting to be paying attention to what we're seeing. And then in all reality, and again, this is a narrative, again, by 36, and all it is, if you think 36, it's just 12 years from now. 12 years from now, we could have a 3.6 million Bitcoin per
I got to get
coin.
more Bitcoin.
Yeah,
right?
like,
I got to get kids out of school. That's what I got to get. Get your asses out of school.
You know what? Listen, I always say there's nothing better than a good old education called MIT MIL IE ARY. Nothing better, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, our grammar du jour, or champion du jour here.
Right here, baby. Right here. This guy with the thumbs, baby. Oh, yeah.
Crypto Mike says, looking at those cycles, what will the dips look like after each cycle? Massive.
Yes.
Oh, Bitcoin was down 100 grand today. The futures markets will be outrageously volatile for small people.
The trading will be epic.
I mean, it'll be so risky. Oh my gosh. It'll be like, oh, it made a small move down 100 grand. You're like, oh crap.
Not even. We say that, but we forget. Like in all reality, when we're looking at these markets, it's not that it's risky. It's just that you got to understand that when it comes with movement and market, there becomes safeguards to it. Just like right now with Bitcoin, right? You can't. They just deleverage it. They take the future side behind it and they just deleverage it. That's it. Whereas right now, because how it moves, but in all honesty,
because it's got moves like Jagger. I haven't even been drinking yet, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you're getting here.
Dude, this is crazy talk over. But I'm being honest, and I want you guys to be paying attention because some of the stuff we're going to go over today, it's going to make sense what we're talking about here, and I think it's super important. As I lead with this, you're going to understand why there's a fervency right now with Bitcoin, and with some of the stuff that is moving within legislation, within Bitcoin, and again, this is stuff that it's becoming fervent with the want and need for Bitcoin. We're going to discuss some things about the economy and how certain things aren't necessarily working out right now. And additionally to that, America and some of our employment issues, along with manufacturing issues that we're looking at, that are kind of sitting at the forefront right now, but we're not really looking forward to it. No, I mean, government right now isn't doing things in favor to help out America. And so we're going to get into some of those things later tonight as we discuss certain topics. So I want to make sure that as we get into these, that look, there's a future. One, his name is Jesus, but the second one is okay.
Judas?
No, not that. Jesus.
Oh.
I'm talking the one that's returning one day. But in the second one here, I'll bring it up where we're talking digital freedom, right? We're talking about a freedom and a gospel of Bitcoin, and and that idea that it really is a form of freedom that kind of pulls you away and allows your money to be able to hold some stance where, in case something does happen and you guys or other things just kind of fall apart, that you can put money into and have some form of stability so that you can actually go out and buy a bag of bread and allow you to be able to go through and be able to get ready in case things do kind of fall apart. And if not, hey, it's good to have a good investment like Bitcoin. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I just tried to, once again, I was working on the API here to go grab stuff auto magically here. And grabbed all the good stuff from Bitcoin's up 4.75% today. $136 billion trading volume in the spot market. I'm pretty sure that's in Bitcoin itself, not in the futures markets. Yep. Futures markets are probably twice that, I'd have to imagine. Because I'm guessing they count leverage in the volume for futures markets. Yeah, I got to look into that, figure out how it's done. But as you can see, my formatting sucks over here. So I got to work on it. The big part is the API works and the JSON to parse it all into cells on Google Sheets and then have it come into the broadcasting software. Make Tommy Boy happy here. Keep Jeff Ledger away with no technical difficulties.
No technical. You need to make one where we can be singing "No technical difficulties."
I just got to import the song and then we're just learn the words to it. Yeah, anyway, Pedro, I mentioned getting a cocktail. I'm gonna go do that, and I'll be right back.
Alrighty, so we're gonna check out here real quick. Also, a little bit of Doge, and then when he comes back, we're gonna talk a little bit about Elon Musk, what's actually happening with him and OpenAI, some of the stuff that's actually happening there, and then in addition to that, talking about Doge itself, the Department of Government Efficiency. So let's check them out here real quick as we move forward. So Doge is showing a little bit of strength as the evening comes in. Like I said, I always am a little timid when something shows strength into the evening, right? Because typically it means potentially that we could see a sell-off out of that. So we talked about us being in this range here, and we're coming up and tapping that 8-period moving average. So I would expect to see some sellers step in as we move in here, and I expect to see it come back down to test that 35-cent area. From right now, we're at that 37 cents 52. So it's looking pretty hot to trot, sexy as ASE, right? I think it's a sexy as efficiency. I think that's what we're saying. I forget exactly what we're saying. Thank you. Burned. Got it. I had somebody just hit me up here. Love you, brother. Good friend of mine, Larry, over at MetaTrust, has been really going through it, and I'm just letting him know. I reached out to him earlier to say, hey man, I was praying for you, thinking about you, man. Hope you're doing better. So I hope he is better. Love it. Glad you're getting better. Boom. So sorry about that. So one of the things I want to bring up as well about this is as we start to see the whole entirety of Doge, because remember, Doge keeps getting mentioned every time Department of Government Efficiency keeps getting hit. That's another sign for Elon Musk, and I would expect to see, I mean, that's just a ton, literally, of, I hate to say, advertisement without having to get it advertised, which is brilliant. And so we should see him as we see that agency that is soon to be done with, mind you, by July of 2026. So they have about 2.5 years to really do an efficiency job, and then their mandate will basically kind of go away. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with it and some of the stuff that correlates with it. I mean, they've already talked about recruiting top level political science majors, coming in, people right out of the brightest minds that come in and really figure out a way how to make the government efficient and how to be smart about setting things up in a way that for posterity reasons within America, we're going to see an increase over generations, right? And making sure that we don't get too top heavy again. Right? That's one of the biggest issues. And allowing for not just government efficiency, but also allowing the United States and its manufacturing mechanism called business for our GDP to grow. That is just really the biggest thing. That's honestly our biggest fight. That's going to, if we can master that, we're going to then be able to master really our issue when it comes to debt. Because if we're able to produce more and the GDP really kicks up, then our GDP to debt ratio is going to even out. If not, if we could even push our GDP much higher, especially if we really start to become the leader in cryptocurrency, especially in the new developments of blockchain, what actually happens, I would expect to see major improvement of our exports, especially if it could be digital, if we become the primary digital exporter of new technology called blockchain and cryptocurrency and robotics, AI connected with all that. So we'll see. We're going to see what's going to go on. So jumping into this next thing, let's go ahead and talk about the whole entire thing with Musk and Sam Altman with their actual cryptocurrency.
Pull up the graphic on the page. Can you?
Right here. There we go. Give me a second. There we go.
There we go.
Right
Look
here.
at that.
There we go. It's funny because even watching, like, he almost seems like doe face, like little boy, when Elon Musk is almost looking at him like a scolding father. Like, if you just look at this, right? It's almost like he's like, it's funny. But him talking about it's really simple.
La cucaracha, la cucaracha.
By the way, all you guys over at Rumble, we appreciate you guys. If you guys could please hit that like button. We appreciate all your guys' views. It always helps us out so much. By the way, what's up, my man? Good to see you. One man in many forms, and you are loved. Who is this Sam Damn Do? Yo, C lady here. Love what the two Trump is picking. Ooh, that's what's up. All right, Miss C lady. What's up? It's good to see you. Yo.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving this the old. Hold on a second. I gotta see if I'm on the right camera here.
All right, here we go. Let's see if we can do this. All right, let's jump back into what we were saying.
Oh, hold on one second, Pedro. This is my thank you to everyone that's joining us. That watched us during the day and watch us during the evening. Obviously, that's not going to happen all the time where you spend 6 hours of your life with us. We're actually trying to get new audiences. So here's a toast to everyone that's helping us do that, to our community. I gave you a big shout out today, but it's that time of the evening for the old number 5 martini here.
Oh, yeah. There he is. He's happy camper now.
I am out of lemons, so no twist. Oh, that's good. Oh, it's a Bombay Sapphire martini. So delicious. So delicious. All right, back to Pedro.
DJ. Okay, DJ, focus here. Should I start calling you by different names here? Anybody knows what I'm referring to? Probably not. If you haven't watched Scrub, you're a loser. You need to go watch it. Anyways, but you're not, because I love you guys. All right, so let's jump back here real quick. Amy, focus over here. Okay, so look, check this out. So Elon Musk rejects Sam Altman's 2018 proposal for OpenAI to launch a cryptocurrency. Court filing reveals this. So basically, back in 2018, Sam Altman really was trying to push a way to gain some form of funding, because at that time, OpenAI, or not OpenAI, but ChatGPT wasn't profitable, and they were just throwing money in and trying to get it. So Sam Altman says, hey, let's create a cryptocurrency and where we could actually get people to actually go through and pay for it and generate some income. Because remember, back then, you could actually do taxes and people were paying up to 10 to 20% in taxes just to get in on a trade, which would have been a lot of money potentially. But wisely, Mr. Musk says, no, because if we do that, it's going to take away the credibility of us and really kind of fork us in whether we're going to grow in a real AI project or we're just looking for money. And so it was very interesting. And so this was just released back because they're right now Elon Musk is suing him for taking Open AI public or ChatGPT public, right? And actually trying to really kind of make money off of it. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I think Musk will win purely because at the very onset of this, it was a very clear mandate that this would be a non-for-profit design. And Musk talked about this on many forums that we need to create an AI that is a non-profit that we can actually help rear and grow and basically become friends with it. Because either way, it's going to happen. We just got to make sure. And part of that was Open AI / ChatGPT. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that actually evolves and see what actually goes with him. And additionally to that,
wait, hold on before you go on to the next note. I'm gonna, about this Elon Musk story here with OpenAI. How many of you watching, whatever platform you're on, know that Elon was one of the original founders of OpenAI?
Yeah, you're right.
And he's out of it. And he started his own AI company, which he just merged into X, I believe, and came up with the wonderful Grok. But I mean, is there a leading technology that he's not a leader in?
Not.
I mean, he's. And you think, oh, he's not in healthcare. No, he's developing a way for blind Geordi from Star Trek to do blind people seeing stuff. I don't know. When I go through the comments, and including the wife of the president of Brazil, the first lady of Brazil. You know what she said to Elon the other day? She said, "Go fuck yourself, Elon. I'm not afraid of you." The first lady of one of the major countries of the world.
That's the most dumbest thing.
The government down there has been this. We can make this another story, but a very anti. Free speech lately. They've been shutting it down. The Supreme Court's been shutting down free speech. The media has to be
governed and watched.
Yeah, the media in Brazil is essentially now financed by the government, so they have almost exclusive control of the media. And Twitter is not, or X has not been playing ball. They said, we're not going to censor this for you. No. Elon's like, that's why I bought it in the first place, because the U.S. government was trying to do that. I said, no, we need this to be free. So the president's wife, the first lady of Brazil, tells him to go F himself.
Well, let me ask you a quick question in regards to that. When she said go F yourself, what was she saying go F yourself because he is defying them, or was it because did she make a distinction between, look, you're trying to oppress, this is how they would see it, right? The way we want to run our country, or was she saying go after yourself because we want to take away free speech? Because here's the thing, right? We can run into the narrative of we're always right, and I want to be careful.
We are.
Right? And listen, I'm all about the First Amendment. I'm all about the First Amendment, but I also know that First Amendment, you know, I grew up on. I'm very much 100% for it. I'm about the Second Amendment, and for my brothers and sisters, remember that is for the government to keep them in check.
Right.
But if a nation has not adopted and agreed to that, who are we to sit there and tell them, look, you're going to have to abide by what we want you to? Now, I agree with what we stand for. I'm 100% for it. It's built off of Judeo-Christian value ideology and how it was developed, right? But it's still, you know what I'm saying? So this is where it's like, I think you look at Facebook. Facebook is playing more of kind of like like a volley, like they're trying to play in regards to each country. So how do we govern that? And by the way, I love what Elon is doing. I think what he's doing is correct. But for us to sit there and say, like, you know what? No, if you're gonna tell me go after yourself, no, F you, because then that's how we get into a war. You know, silly things like that. So let's look at kind of both sides and what's actually happening there.
Got my hand raised up like on Twitter Spaces. Or an
I'm
X
sorry.
Spaces.
Go ahead.
No. My point is though is that the reason Elon is going after them like this, and he's trying to allow everyone to use workarounds. And I host a workaround for them. I host. I use the Tor browser and operate a node for that, and allow people to use my proxy server to get around firewalls and that type of stuff. Now, the reason he's doing about this is because the Brazilian Constitution says in it very explicitly, the government may not interfere with speech at all. And it says then again in like capital letters and screaming, especially regarding politics. It calls it out so blatantly obvious. But the Supreme Court leader there, who everyone just calls Voldemort now, who is given himself not only judge powers, judicial powers, well, he had judicial powers by his job, but he's taken on executive powers and legislative powers, and no one's challenged him. He said, well, that doesn't count when it's misinformation. And Elon's like, no. That's not how this works. You can't just say something is that's not how this works. Free speech, especially when it says absolutely free, especially for political speech. So that means anyone can say anything about politicians. And then they go and try and shut down politicians' accounts for having misinformation. Like when one opposition leader said, you're spending too much money and not getting enough results. A simple thing by the politicians to say, you're not getting the return on investment. We want you to change. And they're like, no, because it insinuates we're taking the money and put it in our pockets. Which they are, because they're the politicians that are now stinking rich down there.
Filthy rich. They're almost like American.
Trust me, I have a whole diatribe about this because it goes into BRICS, and it's the same thing that was going on in Argentina before Milei took over. I'm not pronouncing his name correctly, I don't think. But Milei came over to Argentina and said, who was leaning towards Russia and China, and he's like, we're not Russians and Chinese. Those are two different cultures we have nothing in common with. We have our commonality is with America. European settlers that came over, intermixed with the indigenous peoples here. This is what we have in common. We have in common a strong dollar and a military that supports those values. And Argentina has had a strong military for a long time, except when the British came and whooped their asses over the Falkland Islands. But they've had a proper military because they've always had a good GDP. And they were leaning towards China and inviting the Chinese onto their thing, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, the Chinese were paying them off. And that's what happens. The Russians and the Chinese, they pay off leaders and government officials to get things done. And then eventually the people go, wait a minute. Do we want the Americans to say we can't keep our money in Miami? No, we like having a condo in Miami. It's getting Airbnb right now, bitch. And Brazil's doing the same thing right now. They saw Venezuela, how wealthy the politicians got in Venezuela, and they're looking at that like they limited free speech. They used the courts against the people, and they used the legislative branch. They dismissed the legislative branch and appointed new ones and just said, it's a new one. The old guys don't count. And if they raise their voices, we're going to shoot them. So Elon's point is that we need free speech to make sure the sunlight comes onto your guys' actions. And for those of you, Bruno from our sponsor, World of Rewards, not World of War.
World of Reward, yeah.
World of Rewards is Brazilian, and he said it's very disturbing to see the government just kind of putting the clamp down on them like this. regulating the media, and then telling people what they can and can't listen to. It's tough. That must be awful. And we didn't realize that was going on here in the U.S. I mean, we're the free speech masters. Free speech, woo. And then it turns out the government was going to all the social media platforms saying, don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. Don't talk about that.
Literally. That's literally what was that.
I mean, it sucks. Any of you guys pissed at that out there? I mean, I don't care whether you think that Hunter Biden's laptop, I probably shouldn't even use that phrase because YouTube will demonetize it.
I was going to say, what are you doing? I set you up in such a perfect way, bro, to talk about that to the points, and then you went there. Oh, come on.
What I'm trying to say, it's a non-entity, YouTube. Manual reviewers, we're talking about how it's a non-entity. But the point is that you should have free speech. And if someone wants to say, hey, something's amiss, other people can say, prove it. Well, I don't have to prove it, I'm just saying it. And then they say, well, we prove that it's not. And then later these other people say, oh, we prove it did. You know, it's that town square mentality that, hey, we can do this. Oh, I went on a long time with that one, but that whole...
No, but here's the thing, though, and I think and obviously I set you up because I was like, I was literally telling you, like, 10. Actually, it was funny, is I knew you'd probably go there, and so I said it. You know, it's the reason I'm saying this is the reality is that their Constitution, our Constitution, and their Constitution are very, if not almost exactly alike. A couple things that are kind of, but ultimately, like, they're almost the same. And so that reality is for Elon Musk to go in and do what he's doing and allow people to be able to speak their truth is literally that ability that they were by their founding fathers given the right to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And this is where Elon Musk is trying to help out, saying, hey, look, I have the platform. I have the way for you to speak. I'm going to give it to your people. Just much like with us. Many of us wanted to be able to speak against certain aspects. Just like, you know, with like the crazy ultra left woke ideology. Many people knew, look, leave little children out of this. You guys have gone too far. And then finally, the central left was like, y'all are crazy. Like, we got to now go, we got to go right. We got to go red because you guys have gone completely left, nutso. And if I don't agree with you 100%, and I'm literally quoting Peter Thiel, or Thiel, and it's not Thiel, I always mess it up, Thiel, as he was saying, he's a gay leftist or central leftist who had to go right because y'all went too crazy. So it's just like
he kind of stayed his position, and the party went zoop like that, and he ended up being a Republican. Hold on, I got to break you 1 second here, Pedro. Sam D and Do, and Oo, however you pronounce that. I was banned on Twitter in 2021 for being a Trump supporter. Well, thankfully that is over, and I hope you have your account back. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Tell all your friends about us on Rumble. We're trying to really get our show going over there. And I'll address Guillermo Garcia too. Guillermo Garcia says, "Real talk. Thanks for joining us. We are a digital asset, digital industry show. We talk Bitcoin, crypto, financial freedom, all that type of stuff. And during this season, it has led us into a lot of political talk because of what's going on with the elections in the U.S. And so we get heavy into that, especially on our nighttime shows. We do a daytime show, which is more like today's daytime show was meme coin trading. And lots of other things. Tomorrow's Technical Tuesday, and in the evening we want to do a little bit more talking. I might have a martini, which gets me going a little bit.
And I love it.
And Pedro sets me up for things too. But
I do. I'm the best one.
Well, we have good conversations. So thank all of you and Guillermo, this is the best question we get all the time. Is it too late to invest in BTC? No, it is not. It is not. You probably just joined us. We're just talking about BTC in the various parties, not us, various other parties talking about it going to $1 million, $500,000, $1 million, the future of it. In the United States is having a bill coming out saying that over 5 years it's going to buy 1 million Bitcoin. Poland has put on has a bill being sponsored now to make sure it has a reserve currency of Bitcoin. The state of Pennsylvania here in the U.S., I don't know where you are, Guillermo, has a bill to buy, I think, $700 million worth of Bitcoin. Which in today's trading, it shows $136 billion traded today. So 700 million is not a lot, but it's buy and hold. It reduces the supply. DYOR baby. DYOR baby. I dumped my RET. Every deposit is met with an equal or more withdrawal instantly. They're sucking liquidity out bit by bit. I know I've been trying to figure this out. I've been trying to figure it out. Something odd is going on with that, and I can't figure it out. It's not that it's nefarious. It's that the AI trading thing may not always be set up correctly. But I think it is going to rebound and go back up, because I think they're trying to use go into that later or tomorrow or something on Technical Tuesday. But I think it's down, but I think it's going to go back. And
thank you very much.
Apologize for getting you to buy high and sell low there. I mean, like I said, it's a meme coin, AI meme coin and stuff like that. But
this was the one that was given to us by
AI Wolf.
Okay.
Guillermo Garcia, California, Boston. Thanks for the information. Well, we got a California resident. Both of us have been California residents.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Are you Central Valley? This good-looking, Mexican-looking guy over here with the gray beard, who's younger than me, lived in the Central Valley for a while. I lived in the Santa Monica and Marina Del Rey area for a couple of years.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And
sir.
glad to have left. Santa Monica is a great place. I love it. It's great, but it's a great place to leave to the Los Angeles area. It's because of the entertainment industry. It's not because of the regular people there. It's because all the people connected with the entertainment industry are all mentally ill in the head. And I'm watching the TV show Barry right now. Bill Hader from Saturday Night Live plays a hitman who goes to LA for a hit and then ends up in the acting industry, and it shows how dysfunctional the acting industry is. It's hilarious. I love it so much.
Well, I'll put it like this, and I let it know. Listen, there has been people many times in California that have stood up, and you guys can. It's gone through the crapper. You got friends of yours who are going through hard times and real issues, and you can make a change. You gotta go through, do it systemically, right? Go through, do it grassroots. You and your brothers, you and your friends who are struggling, having a hard time, if you come together and say, look, these are the issues that we're dealing with. Listen, my name is Pedro Garcia. I understand what it's like to live in California with a lot of the Hispanic culture, but many of you guys are going through and struggling, and it's real. Right? You can't get jobs. You have high taxes. Everywhere you turn, you got to deal. I don't know where you live, but there's a lot of gangbangers out there that you got to deal with. A lot of Argentinian gangs, where MS-13. That's
Venezuelans.
Real. Venezuelans.
El Salvador.
Yeah, sorry. But the thing is that you're dealing with real gangs. You're dealing with real issues. And if you go through and you come together and they start to bring your other counterparts that come together and say, we don't want this no more. The biggest voter crew that actually brought Trump into office were the Latino men. It was the Latino men. And we know that Latino women follow Latino men because we're strong, and when we have a direction, we don't budge, and we know it's good. And so if you look up for your family, you look out and you work hard towards them, and you speak and educate yourself, you can make a difference. And you may be poor right now, but it doesn't mean that's where you're going to be. I was a foster kid in California. I understood how hard it is. I know how hard the grind is. And I'm telling you, you don't have to stay there. Educate yourself. There's no reason why you can't. You may not have the best education, but it doesn't mean you need to stay there.
You can come to Chicago and get carjacked. It's great.
But in the same sense, I'm saying this is because you guys can do something. You know what I'm saying? And it can start with you. And you sit there, you pray about it, or you find the inner strength within yourself, where you need to start, where you want to go, and just start. Just start.
Guillermo says, thank you, bro. That goes a long way. Guillermo, on this channel here, before the election for president, we have various shows on our channel here, one of which is called the Crypto Swamp Creatures, with Chris Alexander and Justin Wallin. Justin Wallin is a pollster. He conducts polls for elections and all sorts of other things. And on our show, or on our channel here, he called it out before the election that said Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are in a dead heat. He said, but there's a problem. There's a problem in that Kamala Harris is not polling well. with Latino men and Latino women, but especially Latino men. And he said, so I think, he actually said that he thought at the time Kamala might still win the popular vote. That's before all the Democratic votes just disappeared magically. But that for sure Trump would win the Electoral College because of that demographic. As it turns out that he was right, but also right with every other demographic did better. But the people that left the Biden-Harris Democrat Party idea for progressive nature of their cities, of their laws, and how they're going to live, they said it's not working. It's not working, so we're going to try something else. Even if it's a controversial person that has strange things going on, we're going to try it because this is not working. And you pointed out there's another guy on here. His name is Jesus. You'll see him in here as Judas.
Judas the hater. Or Judas the
and he's up in San Francisco, and he's from Peru. And he's in your same boat. He is saying it's not working here in California. And one of the issues is that you guys cannot elect either a split party legislature in California. It keeps being heavily Democratic, including supermajorities, which tells me that there is election fraud. Yeah, there tells me there's election fraud. When things aren't going well and the state's doing this, yet there keeps being supermajorities in the legislature, it means there's vote fraud of some sort, or there's some issue. I can't say vote fraud, but there's some kind of issue going on. And it ends up with people being disenfranchised like yourself. And Jesus here.
And here's the thing, and I want to bring this up real quick.
And my martini.
You can't, it's not hard, but you got to learn what's going on. You need to educate yourself. You need to be able to communicate about economics, the job situation. And again, it starts one article a day. I literally started, I was in the military, and there was a guy who knew all this stuff. I was 24 years old. He was sitting there watching CNN, and he knew all this information about stocks, and I was just putting money into a mutual fund. I said, how do you learn? How do you know so much? He goes, I read one article a day on finance. I read one article a day on economics, which are two different things. And I read another article on politics. I just do that every day. And it just starts to accumulate, right? And if you have a hard time reading, you're much better than what I was, because I had to sit there and look up the words. And I'm not joking. My vocabulary was, it's okay now, but you should have seen it then. And the reality is it can improve, you can grow. And I'm pretty sure you're probably much further than me. But if I can encourage you with this one thing, like, you can make a difference. And I really mean that. You really can. You just got to start one day at a time and say, I want something better for my children. That's really all it starts. And we all know, like, the Latino men will sit there and get behind somebody who really has a game plan and say, I think we could do it this way. But you just got to educate yourself. So you look young. I could be wrong, but you do. So,
That's all right. We're a bunch of old guys here. We're very happy to have the younger generation, people of any age here, doing it. But Ryan Smith says Barstow is halfway to Vegas. I heard it's better there. Barstow is a giant Marine base in Barstow, so it's the demographics there are skewed because of the huge amount of Marines there. Let's see. Oh, lots of comments here just popped up here. Guillermo says, I love what Trump brings. It's a breath of fresh air. Our county of San Bernardino flipped from blue to red. That's really interesting for San Bernardino.
Yep. That was one of the things I was following, because I was looking at it and I said, oh, and just happened. Literally, it was going. They were like, and finally just flipped. I'm sorry, go ahead. My other question is, real quick, for you, my friend. I don't know if you know this, but you very much can, and you very much can easily start to get in. You're a Latino man, okay? You can get into politics. You just got to do it slowly. Run underneath somebody, or not run underneath somebody, but go in and pick a Republican that you can agree with and you can stand behind. Get to know the individual, right, from a character standpoint, and you can get behind this man or woman and you think they can do an amazing job, get behind them and just kind of just start going in it. Again, one article a day on those issues that I was talking about. And before you know, within a year, you'll be about average. 2 years, you'll be a little bit above everybody else. But by your third year, you'll be putting A plus B equals C and coming up with your own theories, your own thought processes, how to make things happen. And then also understanding how our government works from a local to state to governmental. And before you know it, you're running in the mix. And within a 4-year period, you very much could be a top leader. But you just got to do it every day. That's it. Just like working out, just consistently, just do your reps.
And to sum up what Pedro said is that when you do that, people will end up looking to you as a leader.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely. Because you'll have the information and you'll be able to help people out.
And he says, generational wealth is beautiful. It is. And as a white man here, I would love to say generational wealth was just given to me and all that. But I live in a nice small apartment here. I have owned a company in the past, but it went to zero. So generational wealth doesn't always exist for all people of one race or another, or something like that, as certain groups would say. And not only that, but like absolute generational wealth is not good, and that's why the United States does have an estate tax. Yeah. I would, that's a good topic, not to belabor it, but Pedro, did you see Anthony Scaramucci's talk about taxes and even estate taxes?
No, I didn't. I did not.
It was very interesting. He was talking about how he's a resident of New York, and his total tax burden, excluding sales tax, but just taxes on income, is over 54%. Or is 54%. Federal, state, and New York State, New York City taxes is 54%, and which is a economy crippling thing if it applied to the masses. But it applies to only a few people. But
actually, if we really go into the numerical, because he is wealthy, he doesn't really actually pay really high percentage of his wealth into the common things that we get hit with, who are making around 100,000 and less. And so if you actually do the numbers, we're actually about even, because much of our taxation is a higher percentage of what we actually make. And especially when you apply inflation and what the real metrics are versus what is real versus nominal, these are the things that people don't actually talk about, because well, one, we look like we're tinfoil hatters, but two, it's the reality, and people can't. I mean, the cognitive dissonance is real with people. They can't handle that, and they're just like, no, that means I actually have to do something and fight the government or figure. That's why Trump got in office, because people are just like, we know something wrong, we don't want to fight, and the best way in America is, instead of going up and we're going to attack the government, we're going to just, we just need to vote them out.
Well, what Scaramucci said was very interesting, and what he said, I don't mind paying 50% tax, and it was like this. Like, I looked around, like this was like candid camera. Like, is there a hidden camera here? Like, what's going on? Or does someone have a gun to the back of his head? We can't see it. Right. But he explained it. He explained it well. He said, look, the wealthy in this country get a big break. They get a break because they earn a lot through capital gains, and they pay little tax. And he said, what we need to avoid in this country is the elimination of the middle class, and we need to ensure that there's just not two classes. The wealthy class with fences, and the rest of the country trying to scratch their way through life. And that's how it is in South Africa and a number of countries around the world. All the countries in Central America and Mexico, in much, I won't say all of South America, but much of the countryside in Argentina and Brazil and so forth. And when you have that huge disparity, it's a problem. And I'm not trying to sound like some communist here or some crap like that. What I'm just saying is that we have to ensure the success of our middle class. And what Scaramucci said was that is that I'm happy paying that for now. He said, I'm making plenty of money. I'm happy, he's making his Skybridge Capital or whatever it's called. He's making zillions of dollars. If he has to pay half of his personal income and a lot of the capital gains in tax, he's good because he's still got tons of it. Now, if it's you and me paying that much tax, then we would have a problem, But the point is that the concept of, hey, we got to ensure in any way we can that we need to make sure that the middle class survives. So we have, a happy citizenship, or what's the word? Citizenry? I don't even remember the word, but I'll use the Soviet word, and it won't be the right one. But the proletariat shall be happy, and generally that meant in the Soviet times that meant the poor peasants had food on their table. But in our times, it means that the poor are not dirt poor. They're just the lower end of the spectrum, but they're doing okay. The middle class is succeeding, and there's room for advancement. And the middle class is doing well and happy and content, and the wealthy class, and they can come up. Everybody in the U.S., everyone can come up, and nobody cares about it. There's no caste system, and the wealthy are okay paying taxes. That doesn't mean we need to tax them to death. I'm just saying that point that the Mooch made was really interesting about that. And I was like this. I was like, well, first of all, I said, I don't want to pay no 50% tax. Are you crazy, motherfucker? But then I thought about it from his point of view. If he's got $50 million and he's pulling in $5 to $10 million a year, and he has to pay a big tax bill. I was like,
by the way, you know how much that is on a monthly basis, right? It's like $700,000 a month. On a weekly basis, that's about $180,000 a week.
Wait, hold on, I need more of this. Oh shit, that's it. I'm empty.
Like, just so you can understand the numbers in which he's communicating, because with that, I can throw in $50,000 to $100,000 in an investment called, let's say, Inu. Right, and see that thing explode and pull out a 10 to 20x, and then all of a sudden walk away and go, thank you, have a good day, right? And you didn't even touch a script, and you just didn't even flip on it, right? You're like, okay, whatever, and you literally made another $700,000 to $800,000 as it steps out because that skyrockets, right? These are things that they're used to, and it's okay, right? We're cool with it, and that. But the key is that the little guy can climb his way up, right? Our middle class can climb their way up, and which is the key point behind all of this. Also, which I find really interesting.
Hold on, I got to give you a show pause again here, Pedro. Welcome to the show, AI Alpha Wolf.
Oh snaps, brother! It's good. Thanks
for joining us, Walter. I really appreciate you joining us and spreading the love about our show. Thank you for all you do in crypto. I call AI Alpha Wolf the hardest working man in crypto, because he's endlessly involved in stuff. And thank you for spreading the word and helping our show grow. And then he says, Ryan Barstow is nothing but a truck stop and a crossroad. Yeah, but it does have the military base, the Marine base there. And he says, I want a fence. I want a fence too. I want to fence around my apartment here, keep the ambulances and police and the carjacking stuff from happening out here.
Well, this is the point, right? I think it's so important. Like, so let's also talk about this issue here, with a lot of Elon Musk literally has had a record amount of investors now coming into X, which I found really interesting. I sent that to you, right? Or did I miss that?
Wait, is it up on your screen?
I'm looking because I thought I sent that to you, with all the guys that were coming in to actually invest into, or had now brought their advertising money back on X. But did I send that to you? I thought I sent that to you.
You sent me a ton of stuff, and I read a couple of things.
Yeah, so IBM, Disney,
but it's not.
They were going to.
It's not up on your screen. Elon's still on your screen.
Yeah. All right, so we'll do this here real quick.
AI Wolf says, have you guys been drinking? No, I just poured my first martini of the night. Well, let me rephrase that. My only martini. You can't have two. I'll fall over dead.
You know, what's funny is I'm more of just a beer man. Give me a Guinness. I'm more of a dark beer man too.
Ooh, I love the Guinness.
Dude,
Warms my heart. I love Guinness, Pedro, because it's a dark beer, and it's got a great taste to it. But it's only 4.5% alcohol, so it's not a bomb on you. Unlike some porters or stuff like that, which drop a 10% alcohol on you. You have the whole pint, and you're like this. Oh. Anyway, Guillermo, thank you for what you said earlier. I lost the comment in the thing, but what Guillermo said, he said, everybody needs more leaders like you guys. And that was a very nice comment. We really appreciate that. We appreciate the thought that someone would put together that said that Pedro and I are leaders. Leaders in anything, but it's good. It's good because we do have a lot of political commentary here on our evening show, and on current events, and we're hoping to attract a crowd, which is way bigger than crypto. Crypto is like thousands of people, but the political and current events talk, you can get 100,000 people listening to you.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. I really appreciate that. So if you want to share our stream somewhere, please do so.
We would appreciate everything you guys do. I also put it like this. I wouldn't necessarily say it's leaders, but more or less encouragers.
Yeah.
And more or less people who want to give you the information so that almost, I hate to say, kind of like a pastor in a sense, but not a pastor, because they're actually obviously held to higher standards in those senses. But in a sense where it's like I want to enable or give the knowledge to the people who are out there working so you can understand, just like when I trade and I show where to get in, where to get out, right? Like you guys can get in and activate and know how to get in, get out, learn the markets from a kind of fundamental standpoint or institute standpoint when it comes to trading, because that's one of the things, bro. You just turned like bright green, which was totally dope. I'm sorry.
I was trying to fix my pale look, and I went the wrong way on the slider. And all of a sudden, I was like green. I was like the girl from Ipanema in Star Trek,
Yeah.
the green girl.
Yeah, that was actually dope. Dude, you should do it. I love it because of the space thing. Dude, every time we do that, you turn me into that. That'd just be dope. Anyways, okay, jump back to what I was saying. So in the same sense,
Oh, great! I snorked.
The key is in this, being able to raise up leaders who actually understand, who just don't have a one-sided bias, but actually can sit there and navigate between the left and right, and being able to sit there, just like you asked me questions, am I pro-union? Depends on the union and what they're doing. I am not pro-longshoremen and the ways that they've actually held the American people by the cojones and driven up the pricing. But I am for a few other unions that are doing good jobs for just working men, right? Your local union that fights for your plumber, your local union that fights for your electrician, right? Making sure that they're taken care of because they have real hazardous jobs. So it depends on the union and what it's doing in the local area. That's the key, right? Like the people who work with ABI and TBI guys, right? Or individuals, or the people who work with intellectually disabled people. These people need unions to protect them because a lot of times there's not a lot of things that look out for them. So it's just depends on the union and what they're doing and how well they're actually helping the people out, if not lining their pockets and not doing much. So this is what I'm saying. It depends on the union and actually what they're doing. It's not just black and white. And this is how we want to educate people and help them see the reality of, are you helping everybody around you? Or are you just helping your pocket? And so it's both. It's not one or the other. And
Pedro, I'm here in Illinois, and the problem is that the politicians here generally are helping their own pocket. Right. Thankfully, that we had the chief politician here, the person that's been the Speaker of our House of Representatives of Illinois for 40 years, except for one small 2-year period where there was a light revolt. He has been indicted and is going to go to prison soon for all the usual things that have gone wrong. that were from the 1950s, 1960s, stuff like that. Payoffs, corruption, jobs, patronage, all this type of stuff. And he was still doing that here in the 2020s. And the FBI finally got him on tape. And it took them 10 years, they said, to get him on tape. Talking about, we'll just say corrupt things. And hopefully, the Illinois government will become more transparent, as the California government needs to become.
Yeah.
It needs to become.
There's a lot of things there, and I think as time progresses, as leaders rise up, as people become strong and understand our role as human beings to love one another and to put each other's first and to make sure that we're here to help people out. And obviously, you're not going to be perfect. Everybody's going to fall, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Everybody's going to fall. You know, that's human. But the key is when you get back up, do you care, right? Do you love, and are you pushing? So, what is
Sorry,
it?
I've got some good comments here, Pedro. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Right.
Ryan
No, you're good,
says,
you're good.
I drink my Michelob Ultra with my pinky raised up. Oh,
dude, somebody made fun of me, bro. Is that when I drink out of my bottle, I do this, dude. They're like, what are you, like, fancy water drinker? I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, what's up with your finger? And I was like, oh, now, and now I had to go back. I'm like, hello, I'm going to drink my water.
I remember when I was in college when Michelob Ultra came out, and I was one of the only kids on my floor that had a credit card. And that was because my dad co-signed for it. And so I could go to the liquor store and I could buy 2 or 3 cases of Michelob or of beer. And at the time, Michelob Ultra came out, and they said it was cheaper because they used really thin glass on the bottles. It was so, I mean, if you clinked hard, the glasses broke. And so we would buy Mick Ultra all the time, put them on ice, and all we did was fucking break the glass all the time. It was the biggest disaster ever. That's my recollection of Mick Ultra. Ryan Smith says, yeah, Tom is the man. I'll take it. I'll roll with that tonight. But I just want to let you know, Pedro is actually El Mano. So we'll go with that. True, Dr.
Yes,
Fire
Mano.
Chicken says, true leaders are encouragers.
Oh, I love it.
I like that, actually. True leaders want to inform and teach. I'm thinking that Dr. Fire Chicken has somebody that's a boss of them that is not a teacher and that he dislikes, and so he understands that what true leaders are versus what his boss is. Hope his boss is not watching. Let's see. Guillermo says, can you guys fill me in on BlackRock and
Yes.
Bitcoin, please? We can
Yes,
talk about this
actually-
forever.
This is actually one of the things we are going to talk about later as we progress into the evening. So that is one of our things.
Hey, Joe, let me hit a couple more comments before we talk about a couple of these things. And then
Absolutely.
Guillermo says, beautiful answer. I don't know to which thing we were talking about, but like I said, share it with your friends. Alpha Wolf says, unions are back and forth there for you and they're against you. And at the same time, it's confusing as hell. I agree. One of my good friends is a lawyer that supports labor reform and unions and all that. And he is torn right now because of the political climate in which various unions are I'm just going to be blunt. In the election, a couple of unions supported Kamala Harris, but their members all came out and said, we support Donald Trump. And so there is a strange disconnect between leadership and their membership. And it was very interesting to see that because that's rare with you. Usually the union membership goes, yes, boss, genuflex and does the ominous dominus done type thing. And but this time around, it didn't happen. There was a disconnect there. And that's one of the reasons why that the demographics showed that more people in each demographic, the polls showed that in each demographic, Trump had a higher percentage of voters. but it's really strange with the union vote because it was core Democratic or Democrat, and now suddenly the Republican Party has become the working man party. And I have to say, I have a lot of Canadian viewers, a lot of people from Kanukistan that watch the show. I live in Kanukistan, in Canada, half the time. And the same thing is happening there. The Conservative Party has become the party of the working man and the everyday person. And the Liberal Party has become this out-of-touch, elitist, woke group. And it's very strange to see the same thing happen in two countries. So, I don't know how, I've never been a union member. I crossed a union picket line when I was, I guess 16 or 17, because I was the person that mowed the lawn for a company that was on strike. And I showed up to mow the lawn, and the guys are on strike, and they're like, "Yeah, you can't work here." I'm like, "I'm the guy that's got I'm 16 or 17. I'm like, "I'm the kid that's got to mow the lawn." And they're like, "No, we're on strike. No work can happen." I'm like, "All right, you guys are all sitting here. Do you want this to look like a rundown, raggedy-ass factory that no one cares about and may be just abandoned? Or do you want it to look like a beautiful, wealthy place?" And they're like, "Yes, go mow the lawn." It was really funny. I learned something as a 16 and 17-year-old. What else we got going on here? AIL says, tax suck in Illinois. Yes, they do. Not as bad as California, though. DAR Baby, we haven't talked about DAR Baby tonight. Thanks for joining us, DAR Baby. We really, like I said earlier, we're sorry that the other things didn't work out for you, and thanks for telling us about it. Ryan Smith says, a lot of independents, including myself, came out and voted this time around. Vote for crypto. Totally agree with you. Like I said on today's show, the sea change is already starting in that the word is being put out that the U.S. is not going to be an adversarial location or a prosecutorial location. It's going to be open for business, and we're going to encourage it. And when that happens, all these other places, Singapore, the UAE, everywhere, that are doing gangbusters crypto and digital assets business, will still do well, very well. Yes. But they won't get the massive innovation that the U.S. will generate. And it's not because the U.S. is great, USA, or anything like that. It's just because of our population size and what we put into GDP for innovation and things like that.
And that's the key. And actually the free capital that potentially will be coming back in that will actually funnel that into it. Jumping back to that real quick. So when you want to talk about BlackRock and its hold on Bitcoin, so it literally has in their ETF, out of the I think it's 5.8 billion, I think. And this is at the top of my head from just reading this. 3.1 billion of that is BlackRock, and then the rest is everybody else. When you think about that, that is so much money. Michael Saylor, I think his is 4.1 billion amount that he actually has, or is it more? I think a little bit more than that, because when you incorporate or include MicroStrategies and what he personally has, I think it's more than that. But the reality is they have just in a short period of time accumulated an impressive amount within it. And so I think they will be defending, and I talk about this on our show quite a bit, that for the institutions, I really feel between like 150 to potentially 200,000 to about 5,000 is just the base for them. I talked about earlier, when we look at 12, 15, 20, 30 years from now, a 3 million Bitcoin, a 10 million Bitcoin, a potential 30 million Bitcoin is very doable in 30 years. You know what I'm saying? These are things that right now in the next 10 years, we very much could see a $3 million Bitcoin. 10 years from now, that's not something that's potentially unheard of. Kathy Woods talked about it in 5 years, or 6 years, or actually we're at 5 years because we're at the end of this year. By 2030, we could be seen on a low rate, 500,000 Bitcoin, and most likely on a bullish rate, 1 million to 1.5 million. So these are certain things that we're watching with BlackRock, what's actually happening. And with the onslaught of so many countries really wanting to get into crypto and really kind of follow what America is doing by putting a strategic reserve, I think we're going to see many other countries, not just South American, but all over the world, some form of strategic. In addition to that, we're going to see states. There's already states out there. I think it's Pennsylvania, right? That is it Pennsylvania or Michigan? Oh, I forget what it is. Forgive me. But it's one of them that, and there are multiple states out there, about 10 as I've heard, that are actually, and I've read this through articles, that are looking to literally set up a Bitcoin reserve for their state. So it's progressing, and we're going to see this kind of all over the world. That if you're a real national entity, right, that you've got to have some form of Bitcoin as some reserve to also safeguard against your currency potentially falling or absolutely rising and just throwing everything off. So it's going to be real interesting as we move forward. Jumping back here to Musk here real quick, because I want to bring this up. Comcast, IBM, Disney in particular, Warner Brothers.
This is awesome.
Yes.
Boop,
Warner Brothers.
boop, boop, boop. Awesome alert. Awesome alert.
Right here. This is the reason why he's talking about this baby right here. When Elon Musk said, "Go and love yourself," and I'm
just giving the cultist chant here because this is predictive behavior.
Did we not call this out as well? By the way, right?
We did. We did call it out.
Yeah.
We did.
Yes. They would come back.
And Elon did too. He did too.
Actually, Elon Musk said it. All of them. We'll go over that in a second. We actually have an article potentially just messing around with who could be Satoshi Nakamoto, which is interesting. By the way, Ryan Smith, good to see you, bud. I think that's the Ryan Smith that I know.
Dar Baby says, wife finally said bye BTC today. Ironically, same with me. I recently had Mrs. Striking say, hey, I think it's time we should put some money into that. And I'm like going, I was telling her that at $18,000 for Bitcoin. I was like, anyway, this topic Pedro's talking about is really important. This is a good one.
Yeah. So I just think it's really interesting. And this is actually a swing of finally coming back to a centralist ideology, whereas if you offend me or you offend somebody else, that you're not the devil. And if I have a different view of you, a different view of your idea or your opinion, I or you are not the devil. That we can actually have a different point of view, and I may sound like an idiot here, and I might have gold over here, and you might sound like an idiot over here, but you may have gold here, and I can parse through it and find the gold, and you can parse through it and bring the gold out of me. This is the key, and this is a good example of when Elon said, "Go love yourself," and I'm referring to a song by Bieber, which I used to not be a Bieber fan, but he's growing on me, dude. Look, I'm just shout out. If anybody knows Bieber, shout out. I'd love to have him on the show. Love the guy. Some of the stuff that he's bringing, I mean, I don't.
Wait, are you talking about Justin Bieber?
I am talking about Justin Bieber.
You want him on our show?
I would, dude. I think he would be fun. I think he would sing songs. I think he would sing with us, bro. He'd be like, "Go love yourself, mom."
And I'm the one drinking. He's not.
Sorry. I didn't mean to clap and pop everybody's ears. I'm so sorry about that. You okay, dude?
Ryan Smith says, what's your Twitter, Pedro? Go to our Telegram. Go to TG, search for DYOR Media, Striking's Crypto Smackdown, and post in there, and then Pedro will let you know what his Twitter is. I'll tell you what it is. It's Pedro Garcia Jr. or Pedro Jr. Garcia something.
79.
79. Yeah. But you might You may get some dude from, Guatemala or something.
So listen, just type in Pedro Garcia crypto chart analyst. I'll pop it in here.
That does work. That does work. It depends on what you've been searching for, whether you get him or not. Pedro, it's interesting because I get you really quickly on my Striking Balls account because I've interacted with you a lot.
Yeah.
On the DYOR Media account, I very rarely can get you. It doesn't come up quickly. Because there's not a multi-month or year history, right? It's very different.
Yeah. They do that. Yeah. All right. Well, you've seen it. You can look me up. I am over there. That's where I'm underneath my monogram. I pop a lot of people. I do jump into a lot of spaces over there as well. So come check me out, bro. More than welcome. We also do a Friday night show, Friday afternoon show called Full Rant Friday, where you're able to come out and rant your rant and talk your talk. And we'll talk about that more. Come check out our afternoon show. Let's jump back here real quick.
Well, hold on. Guillermo, Pedro said something very important there. On Fridays, we do a Full Rant Friday, which is an X Spaces. And we do a viewer interaction day in which we sit and talk over X with all of our viewers. And so you should come and join us that day. We'd really appreciate that. Bring yourself, bring your friends.
Bring your mama, tell your auntie, tell you I can't even say it right. All right, let's jump back here because we are all over the place tonight. So let's go ahead and go with this. Let's go ahead. We are all off track here. So, okay, let me finish. So obviously Disney was one of those things that I do bring out, right, that we did talk about. That's a pretty big deal. The fact is that they are back here and they're actually, and this all happened. And this actually all happened at the same time as now certain types of left-wing commentators are now saying, we can't be on here no more. These guys are bad and everybody needs to
Pedro,
leave.
you got a story for that on your screen?
Yes, I do. It's right here.
All right, put that up.
All right, so real quick, let me just point out Comcast, IBM, Disney, Warner Brothers, Discovery, Lionsgate Entertainment have all returned to advertisement on X, formerly known as Twitter, after a year-long boycott, according to Adweek. These companies, which previously distanced, actually they didn't even distance them, they outright said, like, we will never come back, just by the way, from the platform over concerns about content moderations are now cautiously resuming campaigns. I think they're very much because the eyeballs, as I tell Justin, as I told Mr. Christopher Alexander, I said, eyeballs take care of everything. If you're in this type of business, eyeballs will always take care of everything. Because the truth is this is an open forum. And I may not like you, but if I see you advertising more than 7 times, and they know this, it's a scientific term, 7 times, drip, drip, drip on you, I will most likely look at their stuff. And there's a lot of money that they have lost and they know it. So they have to humble themselves and go, okay, I'm going to do it.
Okay,
because
boss.
Guess what? You're right. Cash is king, and guess what? We're coming to an area where cash will be king here real soon. So they need that cash. All right, that's in a nutshell. You guys can check this out. I actually am probably going to go through and put a lot of these links here. Actually, we'll just post this here. Then we can go back, guys. I'm just going to post the links in our thing, and you guys check them out here.
Well, Pedro, one of the things I'll add to the story a little bit is that as a thing to think about for our viewers. The thing to think about is where you get your news, why you're getting it, and what are people's beliefs behind it. And that's why we always say, listen to various sources. Don't listen to one source. Don't listen to just Pedro and I. Go listen to other people, whatever. But the concept that you listen to just one source will get you in trouble. Listen to multiple sources, because one of the biggest news sources in the world has traditionally been The Guardian. In our space, not in a crypto space, but in our security, warfare, politics space, and The Guardian recently said, we're giving up X. We're done with X. It's so toxic. It's awful. It's terrible. I might add, it's right after the election in the U.S. And they're like, it's so terrible. We're just leaving. It's so toxic. Our viewers can't stand it. And that's the same day, the exact same day, that Disney, with The Little Mermaid and Cinderella, said, we're coming back to X because it's great now. It's finally, Elon, we didn't believe in Elon before, but we got to the point where like, wow, he did a great job, and the viewers are there, and we understand the idea of free speech, and we have the ability to pick and choose where our ads are. So when the news people say, we're done with free speech platforms, but Disney, the home of Cinderella, Pinocchio, and all the what's it called, the Lion King, in all these places, right? Say we're going back to X because it's better and it's okay now, and we trust it. So we're going to put our millions of dollars in all, along with the other companies. There's 10 other major entertainment companies that went back. So we'll say $1 billion. You have to put it in your mind, like, all right, what is the mainstream media trying to tell us? And they're trying to tell you that you should not listen to your gut. You should listen to them.
And only them. Because they're the governors of truth, not your own brain, not your own research, not your own ability to go through and really decipher through what potentially is right and wrong. They're going to tell you what's right and wrong in a mass bias perspective of looking at a story. I always tell everybody, read both sides, read 3 sides, read independent sites, if you see an article and you're interested in it, get the left, get the right, get an obscure weirdo guy who's talking about something weird about it, right? These things are going to shape you and bring you more informed. And you'll be able to sit there and say, actually, that's BS. You know that little meme, that little boy saying, bullshit. Forgive me for my language, but he says, like, bullshit, right? Like, yeah, absolutely.
Guillermo, thank you for all of your positive comments. We really appreciate it. Like we always say, spread the love and send our link to our show to your friends.
Definitely. All right.
Shill us as hard as you can.
All right, so let's check this out right here. And I thought, like you said, and this is again goes into knews.com is reporting that progressives are now leaving X due to Elon Musk's leadership and the platform alleged promotion of election conspiracy theories and attacks on Democrats. MSNBC, host by Joy Reid, who had over 1.9 million followers, cited Musk's influence in transforming X into a pro-Trump space at the reasoning behind her departure. Reid said, it was just not worth it. I hadn't been posting for a long time. I just don't want to contribute content once it was purchased by its present owner. Wow, that was so hard for me to say. Purchased by its present owner. So this is a photo gallery of we analyze what critics are saying. So one of the things I always bring up also is, and I'm going to promote these guys. There is a left view of people, or there's a left, just like there's Truth Social, just like there is Rumble. There's also a far, I want to say far left, but there is another media platform that is out there that we're going to try to stream on, right? Where we can give both sides. And I would love to and have far left individuals come on our show and give their view, right? Why they,
for the love of God, please tell us in public your views. Just explain them to us. We'll be happy. Pedro and I talk about everything. We literally talk about everything, and we intentionally play devil's advocate with each other. When one of us is going on about a topic, the other one will go, but about this. We want you to do that too. And we need it to happen with politics too, because we're going to talk about it for the next few months. the lame duck session of Congress and the presidency is, and the inauguration's gonna be in January, and then a big part of the U.S. news reporting cycle is the first 100 days in office. So the next 4 or 5 months is going to be really important, and we're going to get a lot. We're going to get a lot of topics here, Pedro.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Great stuff. Speaking of a good topic,
What's that?
Let's go ahead and go into the main picture here, because we had some craziness happen over the weekend with Mr. Biden, with basically just stroking the fire with the whole entire World War III, setting things up. This guy's supposed to chill out on the beach, relax. And this man straight up just said, hey, Ukraine, we're going to send you ballistic missiles so that you can actually hit the Kremlin and really go. Now, granted, they are getting decimated.
We still have another article on the screen here.
Yeah, you're right. I apologize.
But you're right. And I personally agree with that. Ukraine should be given everything possible to just stop the aggression into their territory. But doing certain things to people that have really large bombs is a bad idea. So the Biden administration's concept of peace in Europe is different than the Trump administration's idea of it. And it's and there's only 2 months. Pedro, you and I talk about things in, we're above the age of 18. So we think of things in years that in our own mind take seconds, like bloop. That was, that was 5 years, boop. And the war in Ukraine has taken, we're entering our 3rd year of it. But the way that could go south really fast is actually frightening. Dara Baby says, I can't believe Biden did that. And
yeah, right. And Russia vows. Russia, this is the part that I am like, dude, why would you do that? Like, you're literally antagonizing a dude who's nuts. That's dumb. What are you doing? Like, you purposely trying to get us like blown? Like, what's your deal? Like, what? Why would you do that? This is my thing. Here's the thing, dude. Are you trying to ruin everything for Trump? Like, we already know that the economy is already on a down point. His first term right now, or his first term, he came into a point where the economy was already starting to pick up a little because of what some of the stuff that Obama did. In all honesty, I've talked about this, okay? He basically helped a roaring strong line, I'm talking about Obama, basically helped get back on his feet that was basically over bloated and too fat, okay? And he made that line lean and strong, okay? And then, so when Trump came into office, he had a mean, lean, lion, strong machine to ramp up into the economy to get it going. Right now, that line is sickly again, and it ain't sickly. It's sickly and it's messed up. It's a little malnourished because some of the policies and some of the things were actually established, and so now we're seeing certain things, certain aspects already taking place as Trump is coming into office. Right? We talked about last month on the reports of the report on the job creations, right? And how I said this is abnormal and this is crazy. This should never. For the last 4 years, we've seen hundreds of thousands of jobs creation and things that were being created for the economy.
They were lying to us.
Yeah, they were lying, absolutely lying. Even Justin, why am I forgetting his name? Justin on Crypto Swamp Creatures.
Justin Wallin.
Justin Wallin.
Crypto Swamp Creatures here on the DYOR Media Network.
He mentions, he goes, this is crazy. Like, it's almost as if they were lying outright to us, to our face. And then finally they have to give up the ghost because they're leaving office, and people that are coming in are saying, well, are we going to give the correct numbers here? I mean, like, what are we going to do here? Right? So it's like, we hopefully keep a job here, right? Like, hopefully he'll keep us. So it's interesting to see what we're seeing here. And so so Biden goes through and sets this up. And again, I agree that Ukraine should have the ability to protect itself and help themselves out. But because of what NATO has done and pushed Ukraine to do certain things, it has made this roaring nut bear guy, right? And I'm using because the bear is Russia, right? That he made him ravenous. He's already kind of rabyish. So you go in and you push it even further, and now he's going to.
Did you just use the word rabyish?
I did. Forgive me. I probably should.
I love it. No, it's good. It's like he's with the raccoons.
Yeah, but in the same sense, I wouldn't even call him rat because he's a bear. Like, listen, a bear a black bear, a brown bear. If you're from California, brown bears will just mess your world up, eat you alive.
Brown bears are bad news.
Bad news. They are a brown bear. Like, I'm not joking. Of a nation, and you fire him up, you get him crazy. And the whole entire thing started with Obama and the situation that correlated with that, right? With Crimea and a lot of the other situations that happened there. But you're now going to antagonize that bear and you're poking it. Why are you going to poke that bear? Like, I get it. They need to take care of themselves, but we need to figure out, bring them together, get them to talk, bring the president over here and this president over here and say, y'all need to come there and talk. And I think that's what we're going to see with Trump. I do. He already talked about it. He goes, I got a good relationship with you. Got a good relationship. Well, he said I got a good relationship with Putin. And it all depends on what you're going to do, man. Like, we're going to see how this works out. So, and I mean, again, I'm not pro Russia. But I'm also
nobody is.
Right. But I'm also not pro Ukraine and giving them ballistic missiles where now they're going to get poked at. Right? This is absolutely nuts. Like, and so it's hard to sit there and see how life is actually going to go well over the next 2 months. Like, and I hope, like, part of me almost wants to have Trump reach out to him saying, hey, bro, look, the majority of America, I don't think we're cool with that. I mean, we want you to chill out. You're going too far, man.
He's clearly going to do that. He's done that in the past, and he's reached out in the past and said, we need to stop this. And in places where he said we need to stop this, they said, no, we're not going to stop this. He's blown the shit out of people. And that was evident in Syria and stuff like that, where when the Americans were attacked, and he was like, whoa, hey guys, we need to stop this. And let's negotiate, or not negotiate, let's just stop this. This is ridiculous. And then the other people, otherwise known as groups controlled by Wagner, and said, no, we're good. We disintegrated them.
Right. We literally, like, it was.
But the point is that his first deference to defer is to negotiate a settlement to stop the loss of life, to stop the maximum loss of money and percentage of GDP and cost of living and not cost of living, your help, Pedro. What's it called? Your quality of life.
Cost of living.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm trying to think what you're saying. Cost of living, inflation, keeping it down, goods and services.
I'm missing that, but the point is that in the past, Trump has deferred to saying, let's stop this, let's work it out. Even if even if it's detrimental to a small percentage of some people, but the larger group of people can move on and stop worrying about this bullshit. And that is an important thing for warfare. And hopefully we'll see that. Hopefully we will not see Mr. Trump's administration just give up on Ukraine and just let Mr. Putin wreak havoc on them. Nobody wants to see that. In fact, the people that produce and build the software that our broadcast, and not just ours, but everyone else's, including OBS and all the other software, it all comes out of Ukraine. And so if all those people die, all that software needs to go somewhere else and do stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that our live stream depends on a peaceful negotiation to warfare efforts.
And I agree with that.
Hold on one second there, Pedro. Welcome back, AI Wolf. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Dar Baby says Kodiak bear. Yes. Nobody wants a Kodiak.
Yeah.
Nobody even wants Kodiak dip. The Kodiak dip is horrid. I've tried it a few times. It's terrible. It's terrible stuff. Terrible. Yeah, Wolf says, hello, Dr. Fire Chicken. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it.
Hey, real quick, can you check your TG real quick?
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna bring up a couple other things here real quick.
Bring them up.
So, alrighty then. All right, so on both we are pretty balanced. Boom, boom, boom. Justin, now 7th consecutive financial audit. So I thought this was really interesting here real quick. The Pentagon unable to account for $824 billion budget fall. Its 7th consecutive financial audit that it hasn't been able to actually go through and kind of pass, which again leads to the Doge agency that's going to be created or is currently being created and staffed, because when you have 800, almost a 2 or 3/4 of $1 billion that cannot be accounted for, that's a pretty substantial thing. That from a government agency, that there's something's kind of amiss there. So it's going to be really interesting to see what actually happens here. What are your thoughts, my brother? Oh, did I miss? Hello? Okay.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button.
It's okay.
Oh, hold on. I think I hit the wrong button. That eliminated my audio.
No, you're good. I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Check 1, 2.
Oh, I can hear you, bud. I can hear you.
Oh, sorry about that, Pedro.
You're good. You're good. It's all right.
I don't think I got the last 60 seconds or so of what you said.
Oh, it's okay. We'll go over it. Okay, so what I was saying was, what is so interesting here is that right now we're seeing a lot of money that's coming up short, a lot of shortfall within the U.S. government. Right now, the Pentagon literally just had $824 billion budget, and this is their. I mean, just kind of they don't know what happened to it, right? Like, where did it go?
They failed another audit.
Yeah, dark money, exactly as Roland Rod talked about, right? It just kind of went into another place or another. And this is what I was saying. The Doge agency, and by the way, every time I say that, it's literally pumping Doge, right? Like every time people start talking about it. So it's brilliant from Elon Musk's standpoint, of an advertising standpoint. But on the back end, though, this is one of those things that dark money just disappearing, and where is it going, right? I think this needs to be, I don't even care much about where it's going. It just needs to stop. Like,
well, Pedro, I gotta tell you, I was a government contractor for a long time, for almost 20 years, U.S. government contractor, another 7 or 8 years a Canadian government contractor. The money doesn't just disappear.
right.
I had plenty of contracts in which the tiny little aspect of it was accounted for with auditors, lawyers, everything. And even when you were like, oh, we submitted reports that were $1 off, they would be like, all right, well, you have to write a letter saying why you're $1 off. Because in the days of modern accounting, things should balance. It's not like the old days when you had like journal books or Excel spreadsheets.
It's not Enron.
Right. It's not Enron.
It's not Enron.
Yeah. And when you say, oh, we're basing this because of this equation on assets and blah, 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 they import the equation and they know the answer. So when things are off, it's wrong. And I had multiple times where the U.S. government just looked at us and said, we don't think that everything is right. And the only thing that we had going on was a contract with the U.S. government. in which we charged them and they paid us. And so it was fairly, I don't even know the right, DAR Baby uses the word DARPA.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting, DAR Baby. Did you work for DARPA? Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I did.
That's exactly, yeah.
I'm sorry to go off on a tangent like this.
No, I think it's a great tangent, because the reality is this: is that you being, and I know this because even in the military, you can't just spend things, right? Everything has to be accounted for, especially
right. Everything.
And here's the thing: we actually went through. I remember, and again, the government waste in the military is crazy, but I understand the reason why, because currently, right now, with the way things are set up, and we've talked about this on our show, whereas personally, this guy right here, because I was told by my higher ups in the Coast Guard to throw out thousands of dollars of old, what's the word I want to use? Because they called it
old people.
File cabinet. No, not old people. That's funny. Oh, dear Lord, forgive me. I mean, I never did any of that, dude. I actually personally have. I have four people confirmed that I saved their life. So
seriously?
Killed. Yeah, like legit. And then I was a part of Katrina, where we actually helped, just a bunch of dope stuff.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're giving the holler to Pedro Garcia here. It could saving people's lives, including in Katrina.
Yeah, Katrina, and then I was also on the Polar Star, where we actually gave, I think it was 80,000 pounds of goods and need for it was an island back in 2004, was it 4 or 3? I can't remember, where there was a major American Samoa hurricane that came in, demolished a bunch of stuff, and so we actually went out there. We were in the area. Yeah, it was a typhoon. Yeah, and so thank you. So that typhoon, we went through and we actually we gave a bunch of stuff, and it helped out. But the reason why I'm saying this is all of that literally was accounted for. We had to pay for that down to the T. Our yeomans were out there accounting for it every time before we grabbed it. They had to get all the paperwork, and we're talking there are thousands of dollars. And so you couldn't be red; you had to be black. You had to come into the black. That's why they call it Black Friday, right? Where everything becomes even, right? You don't have to worry about any craziness. And so you're hitting a good point that even as a contractor, right? You down to the penny or down to the dollar, if you're off, you have to write the reason why it was off, because that's taxpayer money. And lo and behold, the Pentagon, right, is literally $800+ million. Excuse me, not million, $billion. Billion.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, when you think about that 30, by the way, congratulations to America. We've now crossed over to $36 trillion of debt now. Yay. With that, we are accruing about, I think, 300
Let's give him a holler.
Yay.
Thank you, America. $36 trillion in debt.
Yep. Or more or less just bad movements by our government. But hey, that's water under the bridge. Let's move on. Let's fix this issue. And one of the issues that we're going to fix it is helping with the process of where we can actually have $824 billion. Obviously, you can't account for it yet, now, or maybe ever. But in the future, this stuff has got to stop, right? And so hopefully it does with the Department of Doge there. And I just think it's real interesting as we move forward. Any questions? Or anybody have any questions or anything like that you guys want us to go over? I've got a couple more stuff here I want to kind of bring up.
Dr. Fire Chicken says, night all. I don't know if he's saying good night all or just saying enjoy the evening. But thank you for watching us, Dr. Fire Chicken, all the way from Oklahoma. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. I love this guy. You are awesome, brother. By the way,
Dar Baby says, Tom is a little buzzed. Yes, a little bit, but it was planned. I had one martini. The other night doing this show, I had a martini and a bourbon, and apparently it's fine. Tonight, I'm just chilling. But that's the whole point of the evening show. Just trying to chill.
But it's all good, you know. I always say it like this: when it comes down to it, this is more of a lax side of things, and we're keeping things very kind of chill and relaxed. But we're also talking about real issues and things that need to be talked about. And so it's a fun time had by all. We want everybody to have a nice. If you like drinking your coffee at night, kind of like how Tony Hawk's parents do, or if you like to have it a nice little nightcap at the end of the night, like my good old friend Tom here, you're more than welcome. This is how it works. Some people like to do a little toke in the evening. I have a few friends of mine. I've always just been, hey, let's throw on the red light, infrared and red light, which helps me go to sleep.
I'm flying through space.
Yes. So let's check out a couple more things as we move forward here. So Justin, not Justin. So RFK says Bitcoin is the currency of freedom. Now, we talked about this. I was actually trying to push the movement of DeFi, and I was trying to put self-custody 2025, or what was it? Self-custody true freedom 2025 is what I was actually promoting out there for a while. Every time I would post something, and I love the fact that RFK straight says that Bitcoin is the currency of freedom. I say the gospel of Bitcoin or the gospel of DeFi, because it allows a person to be able to handle and be free with their finances. And in that process, that helps us out and you individually, as we can do exchange of value for true value, not for something that might be overinflated for it, right? And so this is what's going to be really interesting as we move forward in it. I'll finish off what he says here. So Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation and for middle-class Americans, a remedy against the dollar's downgrade from the world's reserve currency, and the off-ramp for a ruinous national debt. So it's one of those things we're definitely going to see forward here as we start to see. What are your thoughts, my friend?
My first thought is that the multiple images of, I don't know, whatever, is that Aaron from CNN?
Oh, right here? Yeah, I probably should put up, I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah, let me put up the real, I keep forgetting to do that, and I'll start to do that anymore. So I keep forgetting that, my bad, guys. Here we go.
No, but my point was that Aaron from CNN, I was watching this as you were talking, and right. Aaron started out as a very neutral observer in this whole political news and news cycle and think tank type of thing, and then all of a sudden she joined CNN and became very one-sided, and I was very disappointed because she had spent so much time. She started on CNBC and ended up on CNN, and she spent so much time being very neutral and we'll say very conversant or educated about various different topics. And then it wasn't long before she was on CNN where she was very one-sided. And it was very disappointing to see that. And I can only think that it was by direction of her employer to be one-sided.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know, and I realize that certain networks want to put their point of view ahead of anything else, but as we saw, it's either very successful, like Fox News, or very unsuccessful, like MSNBC. But still, the point is that as a professional, if you're someone who says that, and by no means am I saying Pedro and I are professionals in this, we're hosts
right.
of a digital assets show. And to be a real journalist, like you went to school to be a journalist and to save the world and to report on the real things going on. And then to have somebody describe to you or prescribe to you how you're supposed to report and do your job, it must be horrible. And so when that picture was up here, which it's not now, I was just like, wow, the change that's happened.
Well, and I think what's interesting with that circumstance is this has been the key with the far left, is that they pushed things so far that if you didn't agree with them, right? If you didn't agree, and he's speaking about this woman right here, if you didn't agree with him.
Well, it's amazing. We got a $10 anonymous donation.
Thank you so much, whoever it is. Appreciate it. They must like our show.
Thank you very much. As I always say, Pedro and I very much say thank you to everybody for donating. Everything that's donated goes to improve our show and get the reach out amongst the good edutainment that happens. And the fact that Pedro might be involved with that doesn't matter. The point is that getting the word out, how our show affects the discourse and the discussion about digital assets and the political discourse around that, all good. So thank you very much to everyone that super chats us.
Absolutely appreciate it. All right, so I think one of the things I want to bring up here also, and I think it's really important to understand here, is with this movement, her going through, and because you couldn't disagree with it at all, you had to be 100% in, she fell victim. And again, this is actually really important to actually understand. In sociology, and I try to encourage everybody to kind of read a little bit about sociology, the way social communities build and interact, and the interaction between people and your community, right? You're governed, and you're also very much kind of wired through that. And so when you actually lose touch of a balanced community that you're with, and you're in an echo chamber, it very much can sway you to one side or another. And so it's always so important to be able to understand both sides of the fence and being able to sit there and say, look, because here's the key: in a crowded room, when everybody's running, most people a lot of people get trampled, right? And it's normally the weak. And it's much that same way with ideologies, whether it's far left or far right. It's very much the same circumstance can happen. And we saw a lot of central Democrats having to side with the very group in which they would, if you told them 20 years ago you'd be siding with, they would say, get out of here. Like, what you get? That's for Gizzy. That's for the birds. Get out. There's no way. And sure enough, this is where we're at. And I always bring up my friend who's Democrat, because it broke his heart having to write, his ballot for certain things, going, I don't agree with this, but these guys are actually for the people. And so, like I said, there's a go listen to Peter Thiel. He's a great guy, really smart dude. Actually, a lot of things I disagree with him in regards to what he says, but there are many things that I do agree with him as well. And one of this is the same topic I'm talking about. So that's in a nutshell. But let's go ahead and move forward here real quick. This is the Robert Kennedy Jr.'s call for Bitcoin, the currency of freedom. And a shout out to the Couch of Freedom that we are not on tonight, but we hopefully will be on the Couch of Freedom here again. That was cool. Alrighty then. Let's go ahead and move forward here real quick. Vivek Ramaswamy says that he and Elon Musk, Department of, and let me pull this up. I don't know why it's not pulling up here. Come on, here you are. And I found this really interesting. Come on, you can do it. I'm talking to myself there. Self-encouragement. So here we go. Boom.
Oh, I had my mic on mute. Sorry. Darbaby says we have 2 likes on Facebook. Yeehaw! Sorry.
Yeah, we're getting some hits on Facebook, baby.
Sorry,
that's what I'm talking about.
I put my mic on mute when I had to sneeze, and I forgot to take it off.
It happens, dude. You're good, man. You're good. Love it. I love it. There's 3 there. There we go. So, hopefully they don't ban. Oh, they always do that. They always do it, dude. I can't use this feature no more. I wish they would actually take that away so I could actually do it. On Facebook, if you keep, like on, yeah, they won't let me do it. I think I've been banned again. We limit how often you can post comments or do other things in a given amount of time in order to help protect the community from spam. You can try again later. I can't hit the like.
Oh, you crazy spammer whatever. Mexican guy.
I know, right? All right, so let's pull this up here again. What Ramaswamy was talking about. We expect. Here we go. Let's check it out. Hopefully, I'll be able to pull this up on the hill. And we'll see unless they stop me here. I do not want to accept. Here we go. They'll probably ban me. So Ramaswamy, we expect certain agencies to be deleted outright. We're talking about this earlier, but just simply says and he makes it very clear. Tech entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, who accepted a role alongside Elon Musk and President-elect Trump incoming administration to lead the new Department of Government agency, and certain agencies are expected to be deleted outright. Some are to be pulled back. We expect mass reductions, but also he then, and actually this is not pulling up, this is just some of them. So he also says some of them will be actually just changed up and changed around. Some will be basically maybe merged with other ones because there's a duplicity of them, right? It's been doubled. I don't know why. But it's basically been doubled, so they're going to merge.
A doubling.
Together. Yeah, there's been a doubling of it, or a vast majority and a vast majority of another are doing the same thing. But it's like you have a very small parts of they kind of working together. So we're just bringing those together. So it was really interesting that the Hill actually just went only a little bit here. So, but it's going to be really interesting to see how Musk and Vivek really do a great job here. And what does this mean? And do you think they can actually do it with what the stuff that they're trying to do? Trump has talked about putting in the idea here of a just a signature that he can literally just say, all right, just go, just keep doing this, keep doing it. But, and Tom, this is where your skill is, that right? Could they do this? You're like, nope. It was just nope. That wasn't even
the barriers to having true change in the United States government are so vast. And that's why we've seen that just simple things that we wanted to do, like eliminate the barriers to civil rights, eliminate the issue of everyone being able to vote, took so long. Pedro, did you know that the amendment for the United States Constitution to guarantee that women have the same rights as men has still not been ratified?
Yeah.
The Equal Opportunity Amendment has still not been. It's timing out essentially. These things take so long.
1930 was when it first started, right, with the women's suffrage movement.
Right.
And then again, it was push and really try to get going in the 1970s. Okay, and then with abortion, and there became a lot of physical abuse, and so a lot of laws were actually passed for men getting physical with their women, or right, like these are things that as it progresses, right, most people don't realize like there's been multiple movements in women it's when they call them women libs, you're speaking of women liberation, right? And a lot of them were actually legit. Like women, I can't believe it took was it 1910 where it was like really pushed hard to really get women to be able to vote. Like
I think it was later than that. I think it was 18, 19 or 20, something like that, for women's suffrage.
But what I'm saying is it started then, and then it was finally been the 1920s. But even then, it's been almost 100 plus years. It isn't fully done yet. It's still things are being ratified. And this is the things that people just don't actually understand. Just the idea of like abortion, right? Trump was just trying to make it into the states. It wasn't many people felt, and this is again, and whether you feel or not, this is just the full situation of it is that simply he was just trying to take it out of the hand of the federal government and put it back into the states. That's in a nutshell.
Right.
And so it's one of those things that I think as we start to move forward, I think hopefully people really start to do their homework. That's my goal. And again, I'm not an educated man. It's just
Pedro, that's what you just said is a hope that every teacher on the planet at some point says, please just do your homework for the love of God. Pedro, on this show or on my Rug and Rec shows, I've talked about people, just click the link where someone has claimed that they are this LinkedIn master and they put their LinkedIn link. Just click the link and see if it's true or not.
Yep.
So I sided with you here, Pedro. I was like, just please click the links and learn. It's oh, good Lord.
I think it's beautiful. So here's the thing with this, right? Just go if you see what I mean, what we're talking about. It's going to be really interesting to see if we're actually be able to do a lot of the stuff they're trying to do and do a lot of reform. And we'll find out. I think there will be some, what's the part where the government or the president can just sign something and kind of get
executive orders.
I think he could do some executive orders to kind of really get it going and at least get these proposals to the House and to really get it going and to get talked about, right? Just the over expense, just a lot of things that are happening right now in our government we've talked about here. So I think it's just something that as we progress, we're going to be able, I think we're going to see a lot of things brought to the table that are going to be really interesting. And I look forward to seeing it happen. All right, let's check out a couple more other things here. Oh, that was you sending to me. Wall Street giants are loading up on micro. That was the other one we already talked about. How MicroStrategy shares are actually being picked up by major Wall Street giants because they can't pick up enough of crypto, of Bitcoin. So they're trying to pick up on the stocks of MicroStrategy, which I thought was to your point earlier, and I just forgot to mention that. So I thought that was really interesting. So it's pretty cool. Also, on Sunday, we're just going to go over some major kind of news real quick. So Solana, or not Solana, we'll check out MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy passed this, basically $26 billion Bitcoin reserve. Oh, that's what it was. Boom. $26 billion Bitcoin reserve surpasses IBM and Nike Cash. This is the other part that happened this week. And we forgot to bring this up even on today's show. The idea that Bitcoin was actually proposed for the was it strategic reserve, right? For the Bitcoin Act of 2024, put together and sponsored by Senator Loomis and Cynthia M., both Republicans of Wyoming, introduced back in was it August or actually July? I think July. Basically, the Senate, Banking, Housing, and the Urban Affairs. It looks like the actual hearing, which is I think it's the Senate 4912 Bitcoin Act. So you guys can check that out. I think that was proposed, right? Am I wrong with that?
No, that was proposed. Yes, you're correct. Yes.
And so I believe, is it coming to get voted on here in the lame duck session, or is it going to be voted into the during the new administration?
Well, the way it works is that it was proposed now. That's why it's in the federal record or federal record. But nothing happens right now in the lame duck session, and so especially when it's the next party that wants it to succeed. So it won't. Nothing will happen. I think the new Congress is seated like January 7th, 8th, 10th, or something like that. I don't want to say the actual day because YouTube will demonetize us. But the Congress is seated and it starts proposing things. Then the president is sworn in and he's able to. I'm sorry, he or she is able to approve things. But there's a lot of stuff coming up. There's going to be a big change, big sea change. And crypto makes this $8.5 billion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of stuff happening when it comes to that. Also, let's check out Elon Musk, JFK endorses Howard Lutnick. Oh, that was the other part I thought we didn't really go over much, is Howard Lutnick was proposed for Treasury Secretary, which I thought was really interesting. He's the individual that basically they actually house and hold the treasuries for his firm is the ones that hold the treasuries for
Tether.
Thank you. I was going to say USDT.
Do you have that article here? Do you have that up to put it up there?
Yeah, I'll do that right here, right now. Boom.
Yeah, for ages, people said that, Tether, if they've issued $100 billion in Tether, they don't have the backing of it, so they're issuing just fake money. And
And they kept it on the DL for a long time. They almost let their name get out there, right? And which I thought was really interesting because that this is a side note. They easy at any period in time could have come out and said simply, "Hey, we already have it."
Right.
Like we already and they didn't. They let their name get out there. They let them like people talk and stuff like that. And then finally, like when they just said, "Okay, we need it," the government was like, "We're going to get in this." And all of a sudden, he jumps out and goes, "Gotcha." Like what's his name? Gotcha, bitches. Off of pardon the language, but with what's his name? What's the black guy? Dave Chappelle. You know how he talks about that,
Right.
Dude, I just think it's interesting, just that idea that they went a long time. They went a long time, let that linger out there, and got free advertising, which is, by the way, kind of smart. And
I agree with you on that, Pedro. I was wondering about that for a long time. I was like, wait a minute, why are they going years with just kind of obfuscating, what their backing is? And I think the old rule, the old adage is that, whatever the news is, it's all good news.
Yeah. What's a bad press is good press, no matter what.
Never let a good crisis go to waste. That type of stuff.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Cantor Fitzgerald, a firm I almost went to work for, like 2 or 3 weeks before 9/11, before they were at the top of the World Trade Centers, before they got smoked. But Howard survived that because he was not in the building at the time. Has gone to become one of the largest investment banks on Wall Street, and they ended up with the Tether account. Cantor Fitzgerald holds all their treasuries, and they came out and said, no, they're fully backed. They have like when they were at $100 billion, they said they had. I'm just going to round numbers. Say they had $70 billion in U.S. treasuries, which is, you're like, okay, it's not $100 billion, but it's all the income from that. Currently it's 5% per year. So they're getting $3.5 billion free from the U.S. government for us taxpayers paying Tether, just so you know. And also all the other corporate bonds, investment bonds, and other things that they have. And he's like, no, they're good. And now the person that says that the biggest stablecoin organization that has ever existed, the guy that certifies that they're okay, could possibly be the Secretary of the Treasury of the United States government, which is either the most amazing thing to happen and it's going to be amazing, or there's things that we don't know and could be the biggest disaster ever.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right? Is he could it could be an inside job, and all of a sudden things just fall apart, right? It's almost like when you don't have your checks and balances, and then things are falling apart. And you're like, wait, what's going on, right? And it's like, oh yeah, you forgot to put the you believe so much in this ship, and y'all only put so many boats on it, and it hit a iceberg. So it's kind of nerve-wracking because it's almost like everything's stacking for Bitcoin. That I'm thinking, what potentially could happen, right? Like, so I think he's going to be a great. I think just a good guy to have. He seems pretty fair and balanced. He understands a lot. I've seen a bunch of his stuff. If you guys haven't know who he is, you can check him out over on. He does a lot of interviews on LinkedIn. You can check him out on LinkedIn. He does
Howard
a lot of stuff
has a very popular Rumble channel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and he does. You're right. Shout out to Rumble. Check him out over there. I'm gonna see if I can follow this. No, I can't. Dang it. Okay, that is not going to happen. Come on, buddy, work for me, please. I was having issues. I have so many tabs open here. I've got like 6 different. Here we go. Let's see if this will work here. Come on. Nope, that didn't work. All right, let's see if this will work. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Woohoo! There we go. No whammies. All right. Good job. Okay.
No whammies.
If anybody knows, does anybody know that show? It was like a funny show I grew up watching. Let's see if that works.
Whammy.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Here we are. Boom. Okay. So
Our baby says medical card getting flexed tonight. Wait, Dar Baby's in Florida, in which I think you still need a medical card to go to the cannabis shop, if I'm correct.
There we go. Man, this guy looks like an old friend of mine named Jose, Mr. Garcia.
He's got quite the chapeau on there. It's got a nice hat. Really appreciate it. Yeah. Yes. Apparently, I'm correct.
Bieber can tell you about Diddy. Sorry, I'm this thing's a little slow. I'm kind of behind here on Mr. Garcia. So.
I know, Dar Baby. I can't figure out why it failed. It's really weird. Like everywhere else that it goes to vote, it passes because everyone's like, screw it. We're not putting people in jail for smoking a joint. And in Florida,
I don't understand. You know what blows me away also? Like, again, this is the thing that I'm a huge person at not just to side with one group or the other. I have a friend of mine who literally went to prison for, I think, 15 or 20 plus years because of a plant that he was selling because he was out in California. And California right now is one of the leading proponents for weed. And this guy spent how long? And the left hand wasn't talking to the right hand, and the right hand wasn't talking to the left hand. And this man spent an additional probably 12 years, 10 years away from his daughter, right? Where he should have been able to spend there. And he looked at her through a glass. Anyways, I want to talk. This is where I sit there and say, this is dumb that that somebody shouldn't be going to jail for a plant.
I know. The fact that someone can go to jail, I can do this. Glug, 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 glug. And someone else can do this. And I'm fine, and that person goes to the joint. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I don't understand it. Again, this is why just being one-sided is silly. It's silly. Now, I get it. It gets you high. I don't think you should be smoking and driving, just like I don't believe in drinking and driving, just like I don't believe in pills and driving, right? Like, it's silly. Chill at home. Have a barbecue, watch Beavis and Butthead or whatever show you want to watch, and laugh.
Butthead.
He said Beavis
got TP from my bunghole.
Are you in the great Cornholio?
The great Cornholio. Dar Baby, I didn't realize it had to be a super majority to change that. That makes a lot of sense. It doesn't make sense why it had to be a super majority. It makes sense why it failed. So I can see that. Got only to 58%, and they needed 62%. Not good.
I agree.
Crypto Mike says, free the weed.
So I think one of the things that Kathy Woods was talking about Bitcoin on another topic here. Kathy Woods. Again, I'm reading this actually all from Cointelegraph.
Put the article up on your screen.
Yeah, so here we go. Boom. Cointelegraph. Here we go. Actually, we could talk about this as well. Here we go. Come on, please don't. Be cool, honey, buddy. Be cool. If anybody knows the reference of that movie. Be cool, honey, buddy. Be cool.
Dar Baby's also been limited on Cointelegraph. It's tough being you.
I'm just gonna I'll just do this right here, make it easier. Boom. I like Cointelegraph does such a great job on their articles. I absolutely love them, and they do such a good job. There's also, if any of you guys haven't watched Forward Guidance over on YouTube, those guys are fabulous when it comes to getting news, economic situation that's happening, and they're pro crypto, and they really revolve a lot of stuff around. Like I always tell people, I think you should be paying attention to Forward Guidance and all of the shows that they produce over there, as well as the euro dollar and what they're talking about in the markets. Those are one of the things I'd encourage you, Mr. Garcia, who was listening to us, go check those guys out. The other third one I like is CoinGecko, and I do like also a lot. Just if you want quick information, not Whale Guru, Watcher Guru. give you little headlines of what to go through and check things out. So these are some of those I quickly just get information. So I want to point these guys out because these are where we get a lot of our articles from, and I do check them out. And I also check out, like I said, about 15 other news sources that I check out on a daily basis. But let's go ahead and jump in here. Let's check out. So StarkNet will increase its TPS 4x and reduce fees by 5x within 3 months. CEO.
What?
Then yes.
Four times the throughput, but minus 5 times the expense?
Yes. Cornholio. Oh, snaps. Are you the great Canolio? Or Canholio? Why am I saying it wrong?
Thankfully, us older guys carry the movie quotes and even bad Fox TV shows quotes, like Beavis and Butthead.
Yes. Here's the thing, man. I mean, if we can't laugh about each other and the stuff we watch as kids, man. Or dude, you know what got me more than anything was when I started watching and it's funny, is they've almost becoming as good as The Simpsons. South Park is so good. The stuff that they do is so hilarious, and it actually becomes real life, and you're like, what? Like literally, right? Like The Simpsons called it again. Well, the one that they didn't call was Kamala. She didn't get in office. Woo thing.
Dar baby, Ren and Stimpy. I don't know how they do it, but it's one of the greatest things of all time. It's
all time.
Ren, you idiot, or Stimpy, you idiot. I can't even remember which one is which. It's like the brain and what's the other one? Pinky and the brain. Oh my God! What are you
gonna do? I say that all the time, dude. I'm like, what are you doing this week? Are you gonna try to take over the world? And the kids look at me and go, what? And I'm like, oh, I'm so old, bro. Like I'm just like, it just.
It's like, oh, I'm going to take over the world. Okay, boss.
I go, who's your pinky? And they look and they go, excuse me? Like, what do you mean by that? This is, okay, we're going to leave that one alone. All right, whatever. Right? Like, you're just like, bruh, come on. Anyhow, so I just think it's really funny. So jumping back, go ahead. Let's jump back here real quick. Yeah, so Stark, bro, they're killing this. You talking about like better compliance and faster execution on Carl. So this is just good news off
Ryan Smith says, he says, I'm old. No, you're not old. You're just nice and average, like all of us. Bing. Yes. No need to buy the Fallout 4 shelter. You can stay up on the surface.
Now, one of the things I want to talk about is the meme coin frenzy of this bull run. We knew, I remember my first bull run, which was last bull run, which more was the tail end, and watching the community shout. Oh, we forgot to shout out to Donald Trump, Joe Rogan, Carlson Tucker, because we're over there on Rumble. I'm saying all the names for all the guys.
Wait, you mean Tucker Carlson?
Oh, sorry, Tucker Carlson. Sorry, my dyslexia flipped it around. Sorry, Carlson Tucker.
And I'm the one that had a martini.
Right. Again, hey, like I said, I'm product of the Californian education system. Whoop whoop. Let's go special ed, baby. Anyways, small little bus. Yeah. Woo. All right. Dude, I'm off the cuff tonight. I apologize here. There was too much there.
Hey, it's the evening show. It's expected.
It is, yes. It is,
and it's why people tune in, because they want to be more entertained than educated.
We're going to do all three. We're going to entertain you, we're going to educate you, and then we're going to edumitate.
Ryan says, remember all those shows when MTV used to be music TV? I know. It was really great when it was music TV. And then when they started doing cribs and reality shows, or when they made all the shows, all the interesting things go to VH1, and then it just became a reality show about everything is great and music is great, and then they would say, and then the drugs set in.
Yes. Dude, that was, you knew, and the music always led way to it too. It would be like na 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 na,
Do 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 do, and then the drugs set
and the
in.
drugs.
My sister and I still do that. Oh, is this a VH1 ad? Because you know it's going to end like a political commercial. Like, vote for Pedro. He's for prosperity and Bitcoin and everything is great. Vote for Tom. He's for prisons and going to Siberia. And then they take a picture of me sneezing. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're
Exactly.
like this. Yo, one day in the future, somebody's gonna take all the faces we make compilation, and I look forward to that, dude. Of just the mockery in the future, dude. The memeage that will happen in this is going to be epic status.
Yep.
Yeah.
Real world. Oh my god, my wireless mic's fading here, so I'm gonna.
Oh no. Okay, is it about time? Hey, dude, we're coming to 12 o'clock East Coast Standard Time, so a lot of our people are probably fading out.
Oh yeah, everyone's faded, except the super diehards.
These dudes, I honestly do. But here's the thing: our people over at Rumble, man, we're fluctuating, man, really good. Shout out to you guys over at Rumble. Thank you so much, all you Joe Roganites, all you Shiba Inu guys, all you Bitcoiners, all of you Taylor Swifties, all. Sorry, that was funny. And you're like, yeah. Wait, what? Wait, what?
What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis? Dude, I look forward to the day where I can do that actually on a big stage, right? And like getting everything. All you guys out there for football Sunday night, whoop whoop. All you Saturday football guys, whoop whoop. All you UFC fighters, yeah. Woo! All you gay men who like it. And they'll be like, wait, what? What? They're like, well, okay, my bad. Okay, next, right? And just messing with people. Anyways.
Crypto Mike says, I remember watching MTV Raps and Cribs and all this. Oh my God.
I love it, dude. I love
Hilarious, those shows.
It's really.
Judas says, where's your Republican mic? It's over here somewhere.
Where is it? Where's this thing?
I have it.
All right, guys. There we go. Boom. All right. So one of the things I think is really interesting to see what's actually going on with Goldman Sachs to turn digital asset platform into a blockchain venture. So I think this is another thing. Again, I pulled this off of. Why is my brain blanking here? Don't blank. Please don't blank, brain. Please don't. Cointelegraph. There we go. I did not have a senior moment there. Boom. So I just think this is really interesting here, this article, what they're doing. And we've talked about this on our daily show.
I don't think you have that article on your screen.
I'm actually pulling it up. Cointelegraph. Here we are. Boom. Here we go. Boom. Cointelegraph, Goldman Sachs, sign. So I think this is a really interesting thing. I'll read through it here real quick just so you guys can have it. I for whatever reason, my brain is fully blanking about this, but I know I read the article. So forgive me for that. So Goldman Sachs is preparing to spin out its cryptocurrency platform to create a new company focused on creating and trading financial instruments on blockchain networks, plural. So did they solve the interoperability issue that we're having currently right now with other blockchains? We shall see. But anyways, Bloomberg reported November 18th, the investment bank is speaking to potential partners to add to the platform capabilities and develop new offering. Matthew McDermott, Goldman's global head of digital assets, told Bloomberg, trade web markets and electronic trading platforms will reportedly be among the new entity strategy partners. McDermott said the spin-out is expected to be completed in the next 12 to 18 months, pending regulation approval. Plans are reportedly still in the early stages. It's in the best interest of the market to have something that is industry owned. McDermott told Bloomberg. Now we can go into it, guys, and but I just thought this was a really interesting thing. And we've talked about this now multiple times, how the institutions are creating their own blockchain, their own system. Bank of America has the most patent derivative what's the word? Where patents are sitting, bro. Why am I forgetting?
The most patents
pending. The most pending.
Patents pending of any financial institution
out there.
It's really amazing that because they're not the number one name in digital assets or crypto, so they're planning for it. That's for sure.
Absolutely, and I'm actually looking forward. That's why I know that crypto.com is really kind of bums and buddies and kind of hanging out with what's going on with the Bank of America. A bunch of things are going on. Like kind of I have a couple friends of mine that are down in Florida and a couple other places, and they're just like, yo, this is under, like, again, this is not financial advice. This is not, but that's why, like, I'm looking at, and I'm always checking out Crow, because crypto.com got a lot of connections with a lot of places all over the world. So it's going to be real interesting to see what happens. But to see what Goldman Sachs simply just came out and said today was revolution. They outright just said, hey, check this out. It's dope. I'm crashing. All right, Alpha
Pedro, I just want to let you know, we've been talking all night, and we've had people that are listening to us crashing. So I think it's time for us to go.
I agree. That's why I thought we were going to close up. So here's the key point in all of this. They're literally pushing things out, so it's pretty dope. One last one just to finish it out, and I think this is really interesting. Again, the Polish-Canadian proposed strategic Bitcoin reserve. Polish candidates bring up basically.
I was wondering about the Polish-Canadian thing.
Sorry, yeah. I just think that was really interesting that a Polish presidential candidate pledges to support for strategic Bitcoin reserve. I thought that was really interesting, that if that does get going, how many are we going to see a Russian reserve for Bitcoin? So it's going to be real interesting as we move forward here. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate every one of you guys. I know that we've kind of just been just blathering on, just having fun, having a good time. But I want to bring you guys a good show with good information, with laughs, and more importantly, just good information to encourage you, knowing that, hey, if you're in the crypto world, you're in the right spot at the right time, and you're still not too early.
Thank you, Ryan Smith, for watching us. Thank you, Judas, the backstabber. Thank you, Crypto Mike. Thank you, AI Wolf. Thank you, Dar Baby. Thank you, everyone that watched us tonight. We really appreciate it. We're really doing all of these shows to make sure we get the word out, make sure our eyeballs get in front of the algorithms that push our project out to everybody else, and it makes a big difference. And thank you, all of us. Thank you, all of you, for joining us in this flight through space. I mean, we've gone probably halfway across the galaxy of the Milky Way here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Or we've just sat here in our living room in Chicago. So whatever. but still, we've enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus says, "I'll never backstab you guys until I throw the wrong gang signs." And I'm trying to do, oh shit, what am I trying to do? Then Jesus would be like, "No, man, that's wrong."
Quick question: are we going to be on tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow at regular time in the middle of the day, 12:30
nice.
Eastern Standard Time, not Eastern Daylight Time. All will be good. Let's put the kick tracks on here.
Absolutely. Awesome. One last little thing, guys. I don't know if we're going to be on tomorrow night. We'll let you know. If you guys want to become part of our community, we actually have our Telegram link in this show notes. All you have to do is go in and click on it. We have a simple little CAPTCHA, which basically makes it simple. Just say, hey, I'm a human, and come and check us out. All we ask is that you just respect one another and come in and ask questions, what we're talking about. I do post stuff in there. If I see something that's looking dope or kind of going. So long story short, thanks for coming in today. And Tom, thank you for having me today. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for doing
Pedro,
this.
thank you for coming on tonight and having such exemplary commentary. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Crypto Mike says lots of laughs. Hey, Judah says chaleta time. Chaleta. Crypto Mike says remember the password if you don't forget the gang sign. Oh yeah, right.
I love it. I like it. I like it a lot. Shout out to Ryan King, Darren DeBoyvis, myself, Pedro Garcia, and Mike Gibson over on Facebook. Thank you for hitting the like button. All of those help us on there because honestly, we wouldn't be here without you guys watching us.
Thank you to everyone who watched us on Rumble tonight. Really appreciate it. Glad to expand the viewership over there. As always, on behalf of my good-looking friend over here, Mr. Pedro Garcia, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to have hosted another great episode of this show. Please tune in to our future episodes tomorrow at this usual bat channel at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll be there, so you be there, right?
Yes.
And I'll hit this button, and hopefully this works.